Good morning, it's Tuesday, November 25th, 9 a.m. and we are here for consent agenda review and work session. Is Jeff's camera the one that she always uses in Cooley City or wherever? Electric City?
Yes.
Do you get the images for that?
Yes. She just sent, well, she sent a Google Drive link. Here, I can forward you guys the most recent one now.
Sweet.
Hey, Caitlin, on this correspondence with the students at Eastside Prep School,
Yes,
did we respond to those questions, or we
you are responding to these questions. You're gonna write answers to them.
after today, or what?
Yeah, when you sign all the stuff. Write a little answer, sign your name.
That was Rob's idea.
That's about a good idea.
Yeah.
Wow, throw me under the bus like that, Barb.
Yeah, I thought it was a great idea for the commissioners to get involved.
Back up while
You
I'm
had a-
hurting.
You had a great idea. It was a great idea. Excuse me.
Let's see these pictures, eh? Oh, I thought that was the one you sent.
Just literally right now, just sent it.
How do you see them?
That Northern Lights picture, you click on it.
Click it.
Yeah, so like he's got.
Hey, there's an owl.
There is an owl. He's got them sorted.
How are you?
Good, thanks.
There's more swag on your desk.
As Eastside, what services are working best? Our budget process. Which services do you hope to expand to people? County roads. What services do residents use the most? Probably the road system. That people forget about. What would make your county a better place to live, work, or go to school? No crime. Where should I have a meal if I ever visit?
What are you working?
Just put your favorite spot down.
La Perla?
Bless you.
The prep school in
Let's put the
Kirkland,
letters
Eastside Prep
to them.
in Kirkland sent us,
Yes.
some seventh graders sent us some
Got
questions.
his name.
So that is,
I just started.
actually, no, I remember 10, so.
Been coming
We
on
talked
this
about
year
that.
pretty strong.
go to another seminar or conference so I can get some free chapstick. That's it the county could give, is free chapstick. Doesn't take up a whole lot of tourism. Not everybody uses it, but most people use it.
Add it to the list.
Kevin, do you use chapstick?
Only when I have to.
I use it like
Not very often.
daily, and pack it with me. Close to my heart. Rob, do you use chapstick?
Oh, yeah, but not chapstick. I use the other one.
Burt's
Bonnie
Bees.
Belt,
Your
lip.
lip gloss?
Not Burt's Bees. Lots of lip gloss. I don't know what it's called. It's like the green one.
Slime?
Dark green. Blistex. That's what I like.
That's, you have to be careful because that has addictive properties, so you can't stop.
Same with Carmex has that.
I don't like Carmex.
It's very medicine-y.
I think it's all addictive probably.
Like my lips hurt bad. It's Blistex. I'm just putting it on. I'll put whatever on there.
Perfect.
Okay, solid 4 out of 10, Caitlin.
For the photos?
Yep. And
There's that.
The photos, are the photos looking good? We didn't have pictures of, did we have pictures in there?
I just sent you guys the
Okay,
email with the link.
okay, so Mike. Happy Thanksgiving this week. Oh, do we have Northern Lights?
I've never seen them look like that before. Let that time lapse go.
I've never seen the night sky.
Fantastic here. Oh, it's beautiful.
Just 2 weeks ago they were.
Maybe it was a month ago, 2 weeks, something like that. Yeah, maybe it was 2 weeks ago.
10 years before you see it like this
You
again.
know, I will say the pictures look better than some of the ones we've had.
Pictures for what?
Tourism. We forwarded to you, Tom.
I said, he's in the email.
I think county employees that take better pictures than this, so
But I think they are better than,
they're better than some, for
Please.
sure.
I mean, where's our old tourism picture up here with the guy in the short shorts
I like that.
from the 80s?
Annual road program approval. Did we get an annual road program presentation?
Yeah, Dave Brin came and
There, yeah, sort of.
did a presentation on it. Is that the 6-year?
I think it's the plan for next year.
No, I think it was part of
We
the,
kind of gave it during the budget. Oddly.
I thought I gave it to the update, but could be wrong. Kevin, are you filling those out for us? Where's your best place to eat?
Oh, I thought we all had to do it.
Oh, do we all do it?
On
Kevin's
the original, you'll write on the original, that's in the file.
already doing his original.
Oh.
He's got to
If
prepare.
you look away, what happens.
I'm just making notes.
Well, Kevin's just making the rest of us look bad. We're gonna have to make something up. While when we're done with that.
Yeah, if you guys don't have any questions.
Well, I
on
think
the
we need to hop on to the BOCC budget.
Yeah, the only
Any
thing
questions on the walk-on?
The only thing I,
What was the walk-on?
That's
Just,
The walk-on was the settlement
Samaritan.
agreement between us and Samaritan Hospital.
okay, no, I got
No, I wish it would have just been on consent is all.
the,
You can still add it for next week.
I can add it for next week if you want me to hold it.
Since it is kind of a biggie,
It's 180,000.
can we wait till next week and it
Yeah,
probably would be?
I just,
The appearance of it would be better.
yeah, I had forgotten to get it to you last week, and so but I can do it next week.
I won't tell anybody tomorrow.
No big deal.
What do you think, Kevin?
The one, consent agenda report, Public Works. Public Works says it's a 2016 Chevy truck. Or thinks it's a 2017.
Oh.
Or they put that in their letter. I don't know if it makes any difference, but.
Okay, so the vet relief, instead of having 239,000, probably should correct it, it's 228,000. We should correct it. I'm gonna change it in the book. Real property taxes. Yeah, he's probably gonna kill me. Okay, so which triggers a
Some of these would be excellent. for
so
us.
ending fund balance, they're gonna, Tony's gonna have to take out $85,000 out of his ending fund balance for his budget this year for bets. Oh, okay, that's probably why,
This
wait, I just
spreadsheet that
changed
Mandy
it.
sent
Okay,
you
you're
guys
right.
is not accurate with the numbers that I sent her from the 30th.
Was it 239?
So-
Okay. Okay, I'll put it back in.
I
Okay.
called at 8:30. She wasn't here yet. I was asking her if I was gonna ask her if she was actually gonna publish the reconciled numbers for expense and revenue, because she hasn't published them yet. And pushback I'm getting from the email I sent this morning is it would be awfully nice to see the current revenues so that we could, look at our budgets and try and cut another 2%. So
Thanks, Caitlin, for letting me know. Okay, so we need to find the BOCC budget.
You saw Brett Hill said he's on vacation.
yeah, we're emailing back and forth.
you
though.
good?
Yeah.
So far, I like my $12 cup over my $50 crewmate. So thanks for that.
It's not a bad deal.
No, my BOCC salary. BOCC.
The expenses,
It just has some numbers in it and I don't know what it is.
none of the, I would not use this spreadsheet as an accurate
Depiction?
depiction of the budgets that.
Well, I
that
can't
we
even,
reviewed
mine just
in our
says
report.
like 0.51160110000.
Yes.
So I don't know what that is.
What I understood from the direction that we received from Mandy was that the spreadsheets that we had sent to her on the 30th were going to be put into this spreadsheet with enough time left over for us to review it ourselves before you guys got to the budget adoption
Okay.
hearings. And since these tabs have not been updated recently, I was planning on going through and updating them tomorrow.
We can definitely help you.
I don't expect that it'll take long. It's just a
But
matter of getting it done.
I think 2%. I think we've got to cut $27,000 out of our budget.
Up to 2%. I would do the best you can. I don't know that you'll
Okay, here we
get
go.
a full 2%.
I clearly don't have the right 1.3.
Yeah,
I don't think I have the current one. I have the 2025.
Can we go into executive session and talk budget?
Yeah, it's dealing with,
Well,
It's dealing
I
with,
guess,
personnel.
or we can wait. It has to do with personnel.
We'll do that one.
Yeah.
Just can't talk budget like that. You wanna do personnel, review, we can do that.
It would be, no,
it would be a personnel, if there is, we could do personnel.
personnel.
How long would you like?
5 minutes. I need both of you to stay.
Caitlin, do you have,
Okay, we're gonna go into executive session beginning at 9:16, returning at 9:22 a.m. for evaluation, RCW 42.30.1101G. Yeah. Good morning, it's 9:30 a.m. and we are here for a prosecuting attorney's office update with prosecuting attorney Brandon Kearns.
I'll let Mr. Vivier start off.
Good morning, Commissioners. Start off with, understand that the updated list of contracts has been sent to the Commissioners that are on that. Based upon the tracking that we have within this office, I believe the turnaround time on the contracts has improved in the last month and a half. And so those are going through. We have a lot out that are awaiting comments from the other side, but we are seeing progress in that regard. Are there any specific questions that I could address regarding the contracts at this time?
Who sent that contract list?
I sent it this morning.
Oh, that's the active one?
Yes.
Okay. I had no clue that one. What are magic notes, Tom?
Magic Notes is the AI meeting notes deal that we're not, there's no timeline on it. It's just to review it to see if you saw any potholes. We haven't decided that we'll use that or not. And with this year's budget, we probably will not, so.
Fair enough.
It's a great way to take meeting notes, though. It's AI and it remembers who everybody is. Once you talk once and say your name, it remembers your voice all day long, so. Goes on your meeting minutes for you.
Yeah, some of that technology is impressive, that's for sure.
All right.
Do you have, did want to address the complaint of Kelly Darraguette that was sent to the Board of County Commissioners. I believe our office was forwarded a copy of that last week. The issues in the complaint appear to be directed towards the Grant County Sheriff's Office and the Grant County Prosecuting Attorney's Office on that. I do have a draft letter that I can submit to the commissioners for review as far as the commissioner's response to that. Essentially, it directs Ms. Darraguette to direct her complaint to the Grant County Sheriff's Office and the Prosecuting Attorney's Office regarding those issues. But under the 3627 and 3628 of the Revised Code of Washington, the matters addressed in the complaint do appear to be directed to the Grant County Sheriff's Office and the Grant County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. So again, if the commissioners would like, I can forward a template letter to take a look at for responding to her emailed complaint. there any specific questions that I can address on that?
No.
Okay. And then the last matter that I have before I turn it over to Mr. Guernsey is there was litigation regarding Tom Waters that was recently filed. There was a copy of the complaint forwarded to the commissioners. If they had any specific questions on that, we would need an executive session to address those questions at this time.
I don't remember it, so I would like a quick executive. You guys?
I'm trying to refresh my memory.
Where's my sheet? Are we good with HR in the room, or do they need to leave?
I think at this point in time, I would request HR to leave for this purpose.
I should go too then?
Yes.
All right, we'll go into executive session from 9:35 until 9:38 for litigation RCW 42.30.1101I. How many minutes?
I would say 2.
We will extend 2 more minutes to 9:40 a.m.
If it'd be quick, 5 minutes.
It is 9:40. We're going to extend executive session for 5 more minutes to 9:45. It is 9:45 a.m. We're out of executive session. There was a decision made. Do I have a motion for the decision?
We will make a decision now, Mr. Chair. I move that we allow Kevin McCray to, during his affidavit, to release or state all information pertaining to the installation of the cameras.
I think that will be.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Okay, thank you.
Caitlin, will you edit my submittal?
I think for the last little bit, we were gonna talk about the budget.
Okay, we're here, we're ready.
Given the wonderful email I received last night at 4:55, lawyers don't like to do math. So I went to law school for a reason. It was not math. I do have a couple of questions, and I do intend to meet a little bit with Tom, so I can't imagine this getting a lot further today than we have before, but I am trying. My question is, if Gina is in the room too, that's great.
We actually have a lot of positions that are not filled.
Yes, but also I'm a little bit curious about that because I want to know for 2025 exactly how many vacancies I have right at this moment in time. Because I'm assuming that this list that
Trying to look for your budget, sorry.
that Mandy sent out last time, it looks like there are 3 available. But I don't think that that's true. I think I only have 2 available right now that I can hire. And so that number might be throwing off our 2026 budget because I did request for an additional, but my intent was to ask for an additional GPA. But if I'm already skewed with my numbers for 2025, then that's really gonna throw off 2026.
Just got to your budget, so just a minute.
Are you looking?
And I'm gonna be honest, every time I count it, I get a different number, so.
That's not where
Well,
we're at.
unless
That's
you have
where
like
we're at
different
now,
revenue
so.
coming in,
What
current
happens
victim. I don't see your.
But just from a pure number perspective, if I were to say I have 2 criminal chief deputies,
To be totally honest, I can't even find your salaries for your,
that sounds great. That
I
sounds
can see
about
your
right.
salaries
Do you,
Gina, can you pull that up?
for your crime victims.
The what? Sorry. His budget lists his current budget with the first. Do you want to look at current budget? 2025 budget?
Yes, please. Cindy, I think if you go to the salary tab and scroll up, because I see you're in the spreadsheet.
Oh, yes, thank you. Okay, yeah. Found it. You have 1, 2, 3 positions open.
So I don't think that that's actually,
Prosecutor 4, prosecutor 1, and prosecutor
I don't think
1.
that that's accurate.
Okay.
And that's where my problem is.
And then a trainer, well, this is what's in your budget. A trainer 9 is open
Uh-huh.
and a trainer rule 9. You have 2. So
Yeah, rule 9.
rule 9. So you actually,
But you have 5.
but on your prosecutor 1 through 4, there is no salary line that I can see in that.
So I mean, I
Oh,
don't
no, they're in
think
there.
that right now I have available to hire a DPA for in
So-
the 2025 budget. I don't think that that's accurate, so it could be, and if it is, that's great.
So we
But
could probably just take one of those unfilled
But-
3.4, just a minute, let me jump over to your expenses.
if we threw that, for example, I don't say through willy-nilly, but if that is just thrown in there and then we're trying to add something to 2025 or 2026, then the numbers are gonna be pretty skewed.
You're probably right, because your salary budget is 3.2, and when I look at your, oh, but that's also, you're at 3.4. No, because you added some other things.
So we added just recently, if the board remembers, a new
Can
legal
you
assistant. Yeah, go.
Pull up the budget, just so Brandon can see what we're looking at. So you are at 3.2. Oh, Mandy, I could have done that.
We added the legal assistant, but it came out of
25,
2025.
yeah.
We'll roll over into, so we don't have to worry about adding another one in 2026.
Except I was going to ask for one.
Okay.
So, I mean, technically, yes, but now I don't know. But I
Okay.
need to figure out first
But we,
exactly how many I have as of today, because
So in 2025, Kevin had only 1 legal assistant vacant and 2 deputy prosecutor trainees role. I'm assuming it's a role 9. So he had 1 county prosecuting attorney budgeted. He had 2 chief deputy prosecuting attorneys. He had 1 administrative assistant, 2 DPA 5s, 3 DPA 2s, 5 DPA 1s, and then 2 rule 9s that were vacant.
I'm gonna print this for you, Brandon, so you can kind of look and see.
and then in, I want to say March or April, he asked the board for the remote attorneys, which were given. So if I did the math right, the chart that Gina just read out is 12, not including myself. And then we added the remote attorneys, which would be 14.
The yellow are the open positions that you have.
Yeah, I don't think that this is right, though.
Well, they're in your budgets. Maybe there are names that go. I don't know.
That's the,
So you have some names that you can fill in?
uh-huh.
Okay.
I do understand what you're saying.
So we have them blank, but they were.
That's good.
This is
I
what
do
I'm
understand,
looking
and
at.
I think that you're,
This is what I'm looking at.
I understand that,
I do
but
think
this
that you're
does not mesh
accurate.
with this.
What is this? Where did this come
This
from?
is the 2026 budget,
Oh, 2026.
but this yellow portion
Mhm.
is basically saying these are vacant right now.
but they're not.
But they're,
Yeah, because in 2025, Kevin did not put any vacancies. He just put in people that were in the slots. He didn't budget for any open positions.
okay, so the yellow actually have people in those spots.
Well, that can't. If we were to go through all of the names, Trevor, my most recent hire, is on that list.
Yeah.
And everyone else is on that list.
I don't see Trevor on this one. Oh, yeah, he is right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so if we're assuming that all 3 of those yellow portions are actually vacant, that's where my discrepancy is coming up at, because I don't think that that's true. I think that I only have the 2 DPA1 positions available to hire.
So if you want to
That's where my problem's coming
just
in at.
match, if you can barely read that, or look at match your names to the positions. And then we'll know, because the prosecutor's office has actually always had extra spots, because Garth has always come in and we've just never been able to fill it. And I'm not saying they're not filled, they should have a name in them, I don't know.
Well, and if it is true that I have a DPA4 position available, that's great. Maybe I won't have to ask for another DPA next year then.
Brandon, can we go through the current list of employees and can you put them on that sheet?
Yep.
I'll read their names. So Barbara Nolta, DPA 2.
Which sheet do you want me to? Are we talking this one up here?
Would it be easier
Your
to
2026
print it
budget.
off?
So Barbara Nolta, DPA 2.
Yep, she's on.
Tiffany Fairbanks, DPA 1.
On here?
Shirley Ariola
Yes.
Kern,
On here?
DPA 2. Amanda Burton, DPA 1.
Yep.
Jeremiah Jensen, DPA 2.
Yep.
Natalie Thompson, DPA 1.
Yeah.
Cole Deaver, DPA 2. Trevor Bivier, DPA 4.
Uh-huh.
So if we look at who has termed this year, bear with me. So who left the office this year?
Isaac Stacy.
He was a,
DPA. I have no idea. 1.
okay, let me look, hang on. 2 seconds.
Yeah, so he was removed.
Yeah, I did not. Isaac Stacy never had worked for me, so
He was a DPA 2.
DPA 2.
He's not on here.
He termed in August.
Carly and myself both left in 2025, so February for me, and I think late March for Carly.
Wait, is Carly on here?
No.
And you guys were both DPA.
Oh, Carly she was on there, if I recall right.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, Carly's on here.
She's a chief deputy.
As chief deputy, yeah.
So Carly left the office as a DPA 5. And you, Brandon, left the office as
DPA 5.
a DPA 5.
Do we have all
So-
if you have all your employees on there, it looks like you have some open spots. So the easiest thing for you to do, Brandon, is whatever your 2% is, which would be, is to remove one of those open positions. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like you have 5 open positions.
Where does that leave with trying to add another legal assistant though? Just back that
You
idea?
do a legal assistant, you have 2 legal assistant positions open. You have a
Right now, yeah, that is right.
PA2, 2 legal assistant 3s, 2 rural 9s.
Wait,
and a
this
pro-
is, yeah, this just is adding, right?
They are in your budget, so when you transfer over. on
So
your
you
budget
currently
there.
have 8 DPA. You have 8 DPAs currently hired, but your budget shows that you should have,
Well, what about the 2 remote attorneys?
Are they on here?
They're on here as remote prosecuting attorneys.
so you have 10, including the remote attorneys.
I currently have 10.
You currently have 10 slots filled. So if we go to the 2025 budget,
But that's still coming out to only 13 then. So are we saying I have 15 slots available?
Let me look again.
in 2025, there were 10 DPAs plus the 2 remote attorneys, which is 12, and then you had 2 chief deputy prosecuting attorneys.
13, 14.
That's what you had budgeted for 2025. So for 2026, you have 10 slots filled, plus the 2 DPA, so that's 12. So you should have 2 vacancies.
Or this is saying I have 3.
Your 2026 budget?
Yeah, I'm looking at
There's 3 yellow
2026
lines right
budget.
there. DPA 4, 2 DPA 2s.
So a budget really is a wish list for 2026. So do you want 3 DPAs? And is that what you're asking?
The problem that I am seeing right now, looking at that form right there, is that the yellow slots that do not have the word adding next to it is something that is currently available in 2025. Is that not?
No, not necessarily.
I don't know what your
Then what's-
2020, I'm looking at your 2026,
So
so
I'm just wondering what's the purpose then of adding this language at the bottom? Adding DPA 2.
You're wanting to add another FTE to your budget.
Okay, but that means necessarily then that the list up above, those 3 DPA 4 and 2 DPA 1s are already in a budget.
yeah, they're already accounted for.
But that's not true because he only has 14 FTEs.
Say,
So we
What
need
am I
to,
looking at?
we
So-
need to get rid of one of those lines.
Okay.
And
so
I don't
then-
know who put this budget together. I don't know if it was your office, I don't know if it was Mandy, I don't know. But the point is that you have 14 FTEs from 2025 budgeted. That should match your 2026. So we need to get rid of one of those FTEs. Just delete one of those. And what do you want to hire for? Do you want a DPA 1 or do you want a DPA 4? And that's what you put here, and that's what you budget for.
So,
And then
Mandy,
that's what the board approves.
what does he show on our overall budget as a? Aren't you gonna? I just feel like there's a discrepancy between the employees he's asking for. I'm not sure I'm looking at the right one.
well, that's exactly right, which is why I'm at a place where I can't even start because I don't know what I have to do. And
So Mandy, can you tell me what his bottom line is?
Now I do, well,
Now you
yes,
do.
but anytime I look at a list, the number changes, and that's what I'm trying to figure out.
So 2026, what is the prosecuting attorney's expenses, total expenses?
Musical budget.
Which one was 6?
Mhm.
Well, they never gave one.
Okay,
We have it estimated based off 2025.
what's his estimate? Oh,
Well, I think that's what happened. It was the last meeting when she said it was over 5 million and the number for.
but you're on the same page I am, correct, Mandy? Yeah,
Yeah, it was 4.6 million wait, yeah, 4.6 million approximately. But that was just a 5% to 25s.
on my magnifying glass, so I can figure out what. Okay, so your prosecuting is 4.675. Okay, let me look at your budget here.
So Mandy, when you put the prosecuting attorney's budget together for 2026 and sent it out to them, what did you use as your source data?
Michelle did it,
Okay.
but she would have used 2025s and the August par
And what would she have used the par for?
for the current salaries for all the positions
So she would have put in all of the current employees.
as of August, yes.
So then how did she, and I'm not expecting you to know the answer, but how would she have figured out if there were any vacancies or not from 2025?
I assume they would just be if there was someone in a position that wasn't there in August and it would be vacant. That would be my assumption.
But if she was only looking at the par doesn't account for any termed employees.
But if somebody was on the list that wasn't on August par, she would delete their name and keep the position. So if it said John Smith on her original for 2025's budget, and on August that person is no longer there, she would have removed their name and kept that position.
So according to 2026, the department eliminated 2 DPA 1s and 1 DPA 4, but that doesn't match our records. That doesn't match the separations.
That's why we give it to the departments we created the shell, but we gave it to Janet.
And does Janet understand what she was supposed to do? Were there instructions provided? I mean, clearly that's where the disconnect is, right? The data just doesn't match. It doesn't match separation PARs. It doesn't match the PAR report. It doesn't match the 2025 budget. And so then Brandon's getting a budget that is, we don't know where that data came from. Because it
So-
doesn't match.
I'm showing last year's budget was 4.4 million.
I
And
have,
this year it is 4.675. So there's obviously been some increases. I feel, looking at the budget and doing the numbers, I feel that those, I guess you could, those positions are added in the new budget. The ones that you say you don't have empty, but somehow they're submitted to us and they are showing in your 2026 budget. Whether they're correct or not, I don't know.
that's what we're gonna figure out.
So yes, that's what we need to,
So do we have the approved 2025 budget, the salary, not just the summary, but the salary info, so we get the names of everybody in the PAO's office? Then we can compare that to what happened over this year? And we know-
Because at some point, there was an
Yeah,
additional,
canvassing board.
an additional 2.
I'm late.
So, yeah, so we can see what was approved, right? We have the names in all
no,
the slots.
I just want to verify that but it appears that you have maybe some extra positions that were in
It
there.
is now, right?
It would appear. So it looks like you may just be able to,
And I do think that I have 2 vacant DPAs right now that I can hire. I just don't know that I have 3.
So this wouldn't have any changes in 2025, but this is what 2025 was starting.
Yes. I'm trying to finish your
so
slide.
I think
and
maybe
then
you
will-
lucked
I
out
will go.
on your budget and it's going to be pretty easy
Don't
just.
worry about it.
So what
The
we should
numbers
do
later.
is we should look
Okay.
at that list and check every name, and if every name is still here, then we, compare that to new names that are here.
Can
or
you-
names that are not here.
Janet will be able to quickly do it faster than us. Do you mind Mandy sending that to Janet so she can look at it and verify?
Just,
Yeah, I don't know the availability of her
Okay.
right now, so maybe CC me on it too.
Well, I mean, just because I think your office will be able to find employees more so than we were going to guess. I can choose.
audit that employee
And
list.
I'm not trying to be difficult.
No, no,
No, you're
we're
just
just
trying
trying
to
to figure
I'm just
out.
trying to make sure that I do it right.
Yeah, no, and you're new too,
Every
and
time I look at it, the numbers just get weirder
Yeah.
and weirder.
But-
There's like 3 different pieces we feel like, maybe we need to get together again and look at it. Just keep it up.
Yes.
you're actually sitting in a pretty good spot. It would have looked like.
Well, it looks like a disaster.
Well, it's a disaster when you had, if you had 5 employees that didn't have a position in the budget, that's a disaster. This looks like maybe you, a more employee slots. I'd rather have it this way than the other way,
Sure, right. Well, I don't know,
but just verify that those.
I keep telling you, I don't know what I don't know until I don't know it, and all of these things are just, I'm trying to make sense of them all.
Yeah, I would just verify your employees, and I think that's pretty,
We can start there. Just
But in every list that I get, I have never seen an actual budget list for the employees that Kevin asked the board for in 2025 to add the remote attorneys. And so in every document that I've received, this is in addition to, so I would imagine the budget from the passing in 2025, or I guess late 2024, increased to include those 2 remote attorneys. And I've never seen the documentation other than the board's approval signature for those positions. Likewise, the legal assistant that the board approved for me 2 weeks ago.
Have you met those attorneys? Those remote attorneys?
I have talked to them in person. Yes.
oh, you have?
Not on Zoom. Yeah.
Okay.
So they still exist?
They do
So-
exist, yes.
It was funny for us because Kevin talked about doing that, and then all of a sudden it was, hey, you need to get a laptop for this guy in Bozeman. It's like, what? I'm gonna do house calls, and so it was interesting.
So there was 5 of those deputy prosecutor positions in 2025, and we deleted one of them in 2026. So,
What does that, I don't know what that means.
so there was
ma'am. I'm
5 of those
sorry.
positions, these exact same positions in 2025's approved budget. Now, since we deleted one, there's only 4.
But why did we delete one?
You guys told me to.
But I think that the reason for deleting it is I didn't think that it was actually approved in 2020.
Yeah, so there was 5 of those exact same positions in 2025's budget. It was Stacy, Deaver, Fairbanks, Burton, Thompson. Fairbanks, Burton, Thompson are still here. Deaver and Stacy are no longer.
Deaver's here.
Well, did she get increased to a prosecutor 2, prosecutor 3?
Cole Deaver, he got a increase, I want to say in
So
April.
now Deaver's a position 2.
Uh-huh.
And
Yep.
in last year's budget, that position had three people were in the 2 position, and in this year,
I see 4 DPA twos.
now there's 4. So, that position trend with the increases of 1, 2, 3, or if that opens up, do they get to be able to fill that? Because if that's the case, then it would be an open position. If not, then no, yes, it should have been eliminated because of the promotion.
And so,
You can't ask me because I have no.
and another
idea.
question that I would have, I think that this would be easier, but I realize it would throw the numbers off a little bit. But if I just budgeted for X number of lawyers and had them all at DPA 4, so I could anywhere on the scale, instead of throwing in random numbers, that would make more sense to me to just say, I can hire 15 or 14 lawyers. Or 13 lawyers,
Is that gonna?
and just budget them all as DPA 4. I don't
Is that
have to
gonna
put
increase?
them there,
Okay,
but just so I don't have like, oh, I can hire 2 DPA 1s and 2 DPA 2s and 3 DPA 3s. To just say, I have X number of lawyers that I can hire,
and 4 is the highest.
and 4 is the highest.
Because you may have somebody with lots of experience that you could hire in at a board.
That's the problem I'm having right now. I
Well,
was
look at
talking
your
with
budget and
Carly,
see if-
just budget for it and see.
Well, so you're
I think
talking
if you
about,
cleaned it up, you would actually, I think
That's
you're
what I'm
over
trying to do
budgeted.
overall with the office.
No, I think you're over budgeted, so you should be able to do 4 on all your new positions or the positions that you want.
well, you're talking, so across your deputy prosecutors, right? If you did that, you got.
Well, it would shoot the number
1,
up.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, by about 16,000 a year. That's what it would change.
That's quick math.
Because you've got about a $2,000 difference between a DPA 1 and a DPA 4. About a $2,000 difference.
Is that a month or a
It
year?
should be way more than that.
Oh,
I
I'm
think
sorry,
that's a
I'm
month.
looking at a month, yeah.
16 times 12.
So 16 times 12.
It's gonna shoot the number up there.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But I think you have an extra position or 2 in here. So who would know would HR know the positions in the budget?
I'm honestly just trying to figure out what I have now so that I can properly account for what I
Yeah.
would like to have. in
I would just, if Gina, honestly, you could probably meet with Gina, figure out your employee list. I do feel like you have extra positions in here, so you can change them all to a 4. And you would kind of delete the ones that you are not gonna fill.
I think I'm 13 minutes over. I appreciate.
No, I think, because we need to get this done,
Yeah.
but I think your budget fix is gonna be pretty darn easy, because I think we over budgeted. You have, I'm looking at this, and it looks like you have more positions than what you were currently asking for, or,
And I think that when Kevin hired the 2 remotes, it was in place of.
That's not what the doc, because that's what I asked with Gina when all of the numbers weren't making sense to me. And
Yeah.
She found the documents and it said in addition to. And that's why I just don't, like, I don't, and I, the
Yeah, I know.
records that my office has, I don't know where
I
they
think you
store
just need to
things.
start
I really
over
don't know
fresh.
where they store things. So
Well,
I'm trying to just like,
I think you start
Wing
with
it,
an audit of your employee list, right, your employee base. From 2025 to what you have now, figure out what the changes were, and then go from there and work it back. Yeah.
but you currently have what you need.
And
And
I
try
like,
not to go back.
and I like the idea of just changing his budget to,
Force.
forced, but don't tell anybody else that you're doing that. I would love to do that.
Well, I just told the world, didn't I?
I would love to do that, I'm just saying, I would love to do that with maintenance force,
Well,
but
and because it's because you're a professional service and it's hard to find prosecuting attorneys, you wanna be able to have that full scope from a 1 to a 4. And be able to, and that's how we advertise it, is from a 1 to a 4.
Right,
So you need to budget for 1 to a 4, because if you have that unicorn walk in the door, you wanna be able to have the funds
Well,
for it.
that's where the struggle is, as Carly and I were talking, we need more experienced people here, but
So
we
put
only
all
have,
your, put
we
your
only have
force.
availability to hire DPA ones right now. It's like,
Yeah.
I can't compete, especially trying to convince someone from the west side to move to, an
God's
area that
country
they're-
over
yeah,
here?
Yeah, God's country, yeah, sure.
Yes.
I was gonna say amongst the
God's
sticks, but, it's. So anyways, that's,
I think your
That's
budget
where-
is actually gonna shake out and be just fine,
Okay.
but get your employees,
start with that audit.
the employee, and I think it'll fix itself easily.
you're
It should
very
just take
optimistic,
15
thank you.
minutes, really.
Well, I'm looking, I would love to have a problem like you have with 5 open positions in my budget, because it looks like it's transferring over to your budget. So just make sure all the names are in there. It should be.
Good, all right, thank you for your time. Tom,
Okay, good luck.
thanks.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah.
Hey, we're farmers. We have to do some creative financing.
Yeah.
So we can continue farming. Every single farmer does.
Sorry I went so long.
No, you're fine.
You okay?
Good.
You are an important component to our budget, so.
Did you still want me to come by later, or?
I do,
Okay.
yes, because I still am.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I don't math.
It's confusing.
It's fuzzy now.
If you feel like all those open positions.
Oh,
So are we rolling into HR now?
Oh,
It's the canvassing board certification of the election.
HR. We could get a list for all the prosecutors.
I'm on it.
I'm like, honestly,
Got
that
my
would be
staff
the
on it.
best case scenario. I'd love to have your budget, but it's like, I've over budgeted by 5 people. But I know the prosecutors, they've always had extra positions.
So Cindy, you want to announce we're going to?
It is 10:16. We are late, but we're rolling into our HR update. Commissioner Jones is certifying an election, so he is not here. Do we have any public comment for HR? We have 6 attendees.
Yes, 4 of them are essentially me,
Okay.
and Barb. You have 2 online attendees. One is Carrie. She has no public comments. The other one is Michael Ullman. Michael, I've given you the ability to unmute if you have any public comment for human resources related topics.
Okay, hearing none. We will move into the labor relations bargaining.
Okay, I do need a signature from the chair of the board, who is not here, but I
Good luck. He'll be back.
will be back, so I'll ask him when he returns. It is for settlement out of the sheriff's office that the board has been briefed on multiple times for De La Rosa. That will be resolved once we have that signature.
Okay.
Next topic, in labor relations, I do need to go into executive session for this one.
Okay. Can we do it online? Caitlin? I see-
Yes, it should be active again.
And I think let's start with 5 minutes.
Okay. 10:18 to 10. We're
Sorry,
gonna
Blair,
go
I have to kick you out.
10:19. We're just gonna go to 1025. For, I haven't gotten down the RCW, what was it?
It is, I can tell you, it is RCW 42.30.140 And if you ever look at my agenda, it is
Okay,
on
right
there.
Okay, oh, it's right here. Sorry, I am just trying to,
That way it's helpful and you never have to look at the sheet.
I'm trying to,
You're
okay,
absolutely
all
good.
right,
Ready to go in?
we are. Back to court.
I do, please.
I got it.
All right, sit you down.
Thank you for doing that.
Okay. Next topic is job application, employee evaluation. I'm looking for
Wait, did we
direction.
do just, risk,
Oh, we can,
number 4?
we could do number 4.
Wait, is Rob,
We won't be back till noon.
oh, they have that many?
That's just the time frame that we put on the calendar.
Sometimes they're pretty fast. It's not a presidential, so it should, let's save that for the last one.
Which one?
The risk, the number 4. personnel.
Number 4,
Just
we're
go ahead.
waiting? Okay.
Well, we'll just see if Rob comes in.
Okay.
Election sent an email saying this was going to take extra long, so that's why we put it on the calendar. They specified that.
Thank you, Barb. So maybe not.
Okay.
Pretty small election.
So we can back up to, I know that's.
Back up to number 3?
Yep.
Okay, so number 3, discussion and or hopefully a direction from the board of when you want to review the interim director position. Awkward, I know, Tom, sorry. Well, it is intended January, 1st of January. I don't know
I
if you
think it's
wanted to do it at the end of
working great.
December or waiting for the 1st, and if we need to get that on the schedule.
I think it's working great, so
I think
we
it
could,
could be in the middle of January, because after the holidays, I don't.
Okay, so
I'm
to
gonna be busy, so.
extend.
well, or should we
so-
do middle, because I think it's budgeted and
Just remove the I now.
I think it's working out
We're
great.
following process, Tom.
So let's do the middle of December. We can just do middle of December.
Tom's not work.
Middle
before.
of
Yeah,
December.
we can review.
Kevin?
Okay, hit to do.
Okay.
I need to take like a quick 1-minute break.
You're fine.
This is what happens when we roll from meeting to meeting.
Barbara and Caitlin, could you guys work to get that on a schedule? Please. And we will wait for Cindy to come back.
Blair, how are you today?
I'm here,
I see that.
drinking coffee. It's a good day. It's just coffee. It's black.
Oh, my coffee is very good. Coffee is always better when I don't have to make it myself.
Well, you had the idea for.
It's true. It's always better when somebody else makes it for me.
They should be in the trash can underneath, but
Where what are? The bags?
garbage bags.
Yeah, they should be in the bottom. You pull up.
Should be extra ones in the bottom. Where do you need a garbage bag?
Yeah, garbage can by,
No.
no, let's see. They must have ran out.
I can get you one.
I'll just use Caitlin. The one bottom out.
No.
Oh,
Wow.
How are you doing today, Kevin?
I'm great.
Good.
And again, for the viewers at home, we're just waiting for a second commissioner to return.
Here she comes.
We
She's back.
return.
Good, how are you?
Okay, again, we're waiting on item 4 for for Commissioner Jones.
Well, yeah, we may want to just, if you. We'll wait towards the end. We'll
We'll
put it
get
at the
through the
end.
rest
just
and
because-
then we'll circle back
Okay.
around, okay? Position management, I don't have anything for you today. Budget, finance, and compensation. Working on, as everybody is in current expense, to reduce by 2%. I do have some creative ideas Blair and I were discussing this morning, and I think some of even his requests can be moved to, what was the fund? Sorry.
Historic.
The Historic Preservation Fund for Laserfish. So talk to Michelle about that this afternoon and verify what we're thinking could work. So that would be good.
Could be a part-time, a project.
Not a position,
And it can be training,
the training, the
travel.
It's
product, the scanner itself to be able to get product into Laserfish. So,
Laserfish Farms, the $14,000 I requested.
yeah,
Move to historic.
so that would help.
Mhm.
Under recruitment, number 7, very exciting news. Corrections are fully staffed. Yay. They have not been fully staffed for my tenure. They are now fully staffed.
Nice.
I'm very excited about that. Deputy sheriff, they have 1 to go. So that's also, and a full list to pull from. So that's very exciting. All managers have been trained on NeoGov and are actively using the recruitment module so they can put in their requisition rather than emailing. It can all be done through the system. So far that has been moving smoothly. Number 8, benefits. Open enrollment closes today at midnight. Yes.
Will we be notified if we have not done it?
Yes, Larissa's putting together a
Okay.
list. We're down 25 people that have not started and 15 who are in the process. So she's putting together emails to send to departments. Hopefully have it out by noon.
I think I did it, but it
to
was
let-
super, super, super slow. So
Okay.
I think but I could be one of the.
And if you log back in,
Okay.
it'll tell you if it didn't accept.
Okay.
It'll,
Make sure.
Well, you'll get an email too that says that you've completed it.
yeah.
And then while we're on that subject, the $250, I think that's what it is, stipend, or if we do does that come out of the healthcare? Okay.
Yeah.
Budget,
Yep.
okay. And I'm assuming it's budgeted for 2026? I don't remember
Nothing's
pulling it out.
changed.
Okay.
Yeah, nope, nothing's changed, so for that. And item number 9, policy. I have policy 500 series, the draft changes. You've reviewed them. Just need your initials
I gotta remember what the
for us
policy
to move
title is.
forward with the next steps of the process. And I will get this. Sorry, the first one, the stamp didn't stamp very good, but if you go through and.
Oh, public records. This is the one I shared with the,
Yep, and we've worked
okay, thank you.
with Emily. on that one. Number 10, other. Blair, you can help me out with this
Yep.
one. Thank you.
Thank you for doing that, Decorah.
Oh, you're very welcome. This is a training that has been offered to the county from West Crago. It's a ZAR-52 training they would like the commissioners, elected officials, and department heads and
Anybody else in leadership?
And leadership.
Or anybody that wants to be in leadership, is for holding people accountable. And what happens if you don't? This is Sorry, Tom, it's for the Air Force, it's not Navy. But this happened in Spokane in the early 90s. And what the Spokane what the Air Force actually learned of what happens when you don't hold people accountable. And they could have swept it under the rug and let this incident happen and not said anything, but they actually had a plane crash. And
Is it locked?
No, I don't think so.
they had a plane crash, and what they learned from it and what they did to change the culture in the Air Force and going forward. So it's a great training. I've gone through it a couple times. They offered it at their training they offered a couple months ago. But it's a great training for anybody that was there. I think, Caitlin, were you at that training? You sat through it.
It was very good.
It was very good.
It was a very good training.
It's an hour and a half.
It's an hour and a half, but there is roundtable in there that just does open up discussion of what you would do in a situation like this and how to go forward. So, for department heads, any officials in leadership or that wants to be a leader going forward, or that, a department head thinks they could have potential for leadership. There's no cost for us to have this training, but it would be something to consider.
Yeah, so maybe a topic for during department head
Luncheon?
Caitlin, can you put that on? Because we always have these great ideas, and then when we're talking about our training, we're like, what was that training?
Yeah, I did tell Jessica that it would be after the first of the year that we could schedule something if the board was
You do need
interested
to
in
take
doing
advantage
that.
of the trainings that we're currently paying for,
Yes,
that are free.
that are free.
Yeah.
So
Thank
just
you.
wanted to bring that to your attention, and that is available. When is the first one after the first of the year?
February.
February?
1 second, yes, it's February.
And again, it would be an hour and a half, so leaders would need to, if they wanted to participate in the whole thing,
So I
they
think
would
if we just let her know
need to know
early.
ahead of time, plenty of time to schedule that time longer.
So
because their
if,
schedules-
because usually it's the elected officials and department heads, would we be able to open it up for us? I think it'd be nice for supervisors, because sometimes the supervisors are
Mhm.
the ones.
Yeah.
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 Executing the leadership.
Yeah.
Module.
We just modify that training day.
Okay, so we may have to get a little bit bigger room.
Yeah, we would.
Yeah. Could maybe set up Grand Coulee, or if needed, Public Works,
Yeah, public works.
the big conference room up there.
From the overflow, yeah. Or whatever we do, does the district court, Superior Court, do they use that room quite a bit? We rarely
Oh,
use
we
that
could
training
use,
room.
yeah, we could use that one as well. The jury room upstairs.
We could do some research and
Double
figure out what
bedroom.
has the most room.
Yeah,
for personnel.
depending on how many people.
Yeah, we'd have to figure that out, put it out way in far in advance and figure out which room has the most. I'll work with.
Well, we'll see how many people sign up, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
you could open it up for, the managers or.
Thank you for that.
Yep.
Thanks,
Move
Blair.
away from the table now.
Feel them stepping away.
Yep.
And then the only other thing I had was back to item number 4, which I will need an executive session for.
Oh, let me get back in mind. Takes me a hot minute to do this.
And Blair, you are welcome to stay for that one.
I'll stay for this one.
Having to do with risk.
Desiree, do you have anything?
Oh, yes. Do you have anything before we go in? We're welcome to.
Not HR related.
Okay.
So I don't want to interrupt.
Oh, well, you can ask right now, what's your question?
So I just want to go back to the budget email really quickly, and I very apologize for interrupting, but because you want that tomorrow, and I have a lot of time. At the budget meeting, there was a Scribner's error that we fixed in the meeting, but the number that Mandy came up with, I went back to my office and verified, didn't match. So I sent you all an email with what I thought the number should be. twice and I've sent it to Mandy 3 times. I don't know which budget to look at for making adjustments because I haven't heard back that those changes are acceptable. That's where I need to start. There is a better time
I
to
would
discuss
probably,
that.
no, I'd probably walk upstairs and go ask
Okay.
Mandy right now what
Okay.
budget she's, because I know we have different emails and
Okay.
we have some that are updated.
Do you remember how big the error was?
It was 2 people's salaries. It was missing a digit, so significant. It was a significant amount, yeah. And then the other thing that I noticed too is that under the benefits, all of the benefits were falling under current expenses, but all of my grant funded positions needed to be separated out under the benefits
Well, there
tab.
you
So I
go.
did that.
Okay.
I had already done that and I moved that. But again, I didn't get any kind of response, so.
Yeah, verify that that's being reflected correctly.
Okay, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And I'll double check too on on our link to get to it to see if those changes have been changed.
Yeah, I don't think that they had been because I had just done it on mine and then sent the email and said that I would go into that link and change everything if it was agreeable. And then I ended up sending just her and said, hey, did this get maybe adjusted? And I haven't gotten a response and I'm not trying to cause any issues. I just
What I did
don't
on
know where to
mine-
start.
You're doing exactly what you need to do.
So.
Ask the question and be pointed about it. I would go upstairs and ask her.
Okay,
And what I did on mine is I just followed the link and did it myself.
okay,
Put it in there.
perfect. I just didn't want to mess with it since it had already been presented. And so I was uncomfortable without any acknowledgement that that email was out there.
Yeah, and I just put a note in it
Okay,
and then adjusted and just put my initials.
perfect. And then the only other observation that I'll make is that the most current revenue and expense reports I have are from July. So that makes doing predictions much more difficult and I can't be the only person in that situation. And then we also have JEs that are out there to move some salary funds for grant positions from June, I believe, that still aren't done. So even my revenue and expense aren't necessarily going to be correct. I'm just struggling a little bit and I'm assuming I'm not the only one.
So we did, just so you're aware, last week we canceled the Friday budget meeting and we had asked Mandy to reconcile all of the revenue and expense through October.
Okay.
I did ask her to publish those on the website where you're used to looking for them.
Yeah.
She did get her current expense reconciled. She did not publish them and I don't know when she's going to. I haven't had a chance to ask her yet.
We looked yesterday, but didn't see.
You might say, Tom asked that was gonna get published and a lot of us are waiting on that and it hasn't been published, and see what she says.
Okay.
That was part of it. It would be
And
great.
I will make every attempt that I can, but it's a significant amount. And as you guys know, I've made cuts every time there's been an ask. And I cut when I took the position any fluff out. So I don't build in fluff to begin with. I can cut interpreter and that sort of thing, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to hire them if we need them because we have legal obligation to provide them.
No, we appreciate.
But just so you know, and then we can communicate later, but I just needed to know a good starting point. And I figured I would start with you all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, Caitlin, the last executive session, I put Tom on, but I forgot to add to chorus.
I'll get all there.
Getting better. Okay, how long Cora, do you think you need? What would you like?
10 minutes.
10 minutes? Okay, so we're going into executive session from 10:43 to 10:53. And it is disciplinary matters, RCW 4231.10.1. You joined us at 10:48, 10:48, sorry.
Okay. I'm good.
Thank you, Caitlin. Sorry to make so many errors on the executive session.
Job security.
And I will go back to quick if I can get
Didn't know how else to fix it. Sorry, it's gone.
item 2.
Do you want to visit with Rob about that?
Yes.
Okay.
Rob, I just need a signature to this
About the other one too,
Settlement?
which one was it?
For De La Rosa, board had already had agreed, coming out of the sheriff's budget, 2025 budget. That settlement will be done, it'll be one less labor relations issue. And then
What is the amount?
I will find it and show it to you.
Bless you.
Why do I not see?
All right, we'll see you guys.
Thank you, Blair.
Yep,
How do you like the new office?
I like it. It's quiet.
He likes it so much, he never comes over to see us.
I go over occasionally. I'm actually headed up there in a couple minutes.
Thank you for getting her the information.
Yeah.
She was asking about it.
Yeah, I got it.
I'm like, wait, I know people who.
She had it earlier. She was behind a couple times.
It's put in here in 5 months, 5-month base pay. So that it's so that less taxes. There's a whole different protection, so it's not a total amount. But if you want that, Gina, I can have Gina send you the.
I just felt like this one.
Well, none of us like that one.
Anyway,
All right.
Thank you.
Yep.
and Kevin sign.
No, it's your name on it. I
Well,
mean,
then-
you could give it to him to sign.
You can have one of those.
Yes.
I saw the fairgrounds budget.
Yes, I don't know why Barb's name is on this one, but Barb's name is on this one, so I will have her sign.
Johnny just needs as many other names on there as he can get. Are we still going or are we done?
I am done.
Oh, then we will recess until 11 a.m.
Thank you for your feedback.
Good morning, it's 11:01 a.m. and we are here for our weekly commissioners meeting. I'll now call the meeting to order and begin with an open forum for public input, 3 minutes per person, 15-minute time limit. Jerome, welcome back.
Thank you. We had two items that I'd like to address with you. The first one being a while back, months ago, I talked to you about automatic license plate readers. There's been a recent court decision in Washington State that states that all documents, any photos, any information that's been collected by those readers, whether they're owned by the county or a separate agency like flock cameras, are all public records and they are, anyone that wants can request those. So if, I don't know if Grand County itself has bought into the flock camera idea, but if you have, you need to understand that it could cost thousands of dollars in time for you to get those records to people. Second thing I'd like to talk to you about is insurance, and I'm
Just
sure.
a minute, Jerome, just to clarify, those are the cameras that record the license plate, like,
They're the ones that are either on
For
light
speeding.
poles or they're on poles that are established just for their cameras. And I believe there's one on,
Well, two different things. So license plate reader would be like our speed trailer, but we
Okay.
never turn that on.
okay.
right?
And then the flock cameras are like, they're kind of spread out in the city of Moses Lake.
There's about 80,000 nationwide now. One of the main issues I have, besides the collection of the data, is that I've done some research and found that they can be hacked by not really sophisticated means and they're supposed to be secure, but they're not. So you never know who's going to be accessing that information and for what nefarious purposes. The other thing I'd like to bring to your attention is something personal to me, which is my wife's health insurance, which we got a letter just recently, and it's gonna go up 212%. So I just need to be aware of, yeah. I mean, well, we can afford it, but as someone who worked for the county for a number of years and availed myself of the savings programs and stuff, it's gonna be quite a hit to go from 382 to 1161 a month without increasing the coverage. So I just wanted to make it real for you folks. Thank you.
Thank you. We have 2 call-in users.
One is Carrie. She does not have public comment. The other is Michael Ullman. Michael, I've given you the ability to unmute if you have any public comment.
All right, that concludes our public comments. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes to approve the agenda. Do we have any correspondence, emails, letters of support this week?
I do.
None for you. Tom? No. Commissioners? No. All right. So then we will move on to roundtable items. Do we have any topics for today? Okay. Well, since we're at roundtable, I don't know when I'll talk to you guys, and we're gonna be short for the next month probably. I got approached again for 0.1% being discussed by the commissioners. They basically would like to request to have us do a council-matic decision. I didn't necessarily agree with that because it'd be about $2.83 million a year, and we have no plans for that money, and we have enough budget issues. I don't think we need another $3 million of budget issues yet. So, but this group is trying to build some steam and get our support, whether it's a ballot and deal or it's council-matic. It's kind of going to be led by Boys and Girls Club and probably some of community court. So here's Boys and Girls Club's request if it was to be something that came for you guys, because I'm sure they're going to approach you if they haven't already. And just figure I would pass it on. They also had a big meeting. It's all in this book. If you want to see it, just let me know. But they had a meeting about different groups that could utilize the fund and what they would do with it and the good that they could do with it. So just we're gonna pass that along. Are we in tomorrow?
We can put it on the calendar.
I don't know
The
if we're gonna
direction
have,
is just,
unless we work on our own personal budget, but I think Tom's got some things he's working on.
Will we be doing the meeting this afternoon for budgets?
Yeah,
We are going to do that one.
I think so.
I did invite the treasurer and assessor to discuss the email I sent to you about the levy certification, so we can get those numbers solidified for Monday. So if you could review that.
Jim was here earlier. Is this the time of the budget we're bringing up? The transfer last year was 550,000, 296,000, so about 500. Anyway, and then this year he's asking for 900,000, a $400,000 increase, 390,000. Did his insurance go up that much? That's gonna be, I mean, that's a big chunk out of our current expense.
It went up, it didn't go up that much. As a matter of fact, the original number that we sent them, we revised it, was down quite a bit based on the risk level.
I feel like we should help with the insurance, but that is a huge increase?
I can verify that from when you got that number to what was sent to him this
Because we
morning.
were like, it used to be a couple 100,000. Then it's just kind of slowly been, but this is a big chunk.
His total premium allocation, or his insurance allocation, excuse me, his premium share of buildings, equipment, and vehicle was $432,871. That's how much.
So is that what was it last year? Was it 200 the year before?
I think it was.
So I can see a $200,000 increase if that's, but a 400,000. I feel like the whole insurance premium got added where he was already paying for it previously. Hey, we're looking at everything. Nobody is safe. Okay, Mr. Chair, are you looking for a motion to approve the, sorry.
If we're done with roundtable, yeah, then entertain a
Any more
motion for the
roundtables?
consent agenda items.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the consent agenda items 1 through 18.
I'll second that.
It's been a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I will, we had a walk-on, but we are asking that the walk-on be added next week.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes to approve consent agenda items 1 through 18 as presented. Thank you.
Public Works, did you have anything? Yeah, you're just sitting here enjoying the day because everybody else has to have a 2% budget decrease.
Just in case you had any questions.
That's the call-in user Michael, and then he's with this firm HLA. And he's on there just in case you have questions.
Yeah, we were wondering who that
Do you want
was.
to sit there and I'll sit there?
But I mean, we figured it out. We're like.
Yeah,
why
swap
does
me
that name
chairs.
sound familiar?
Yeah.
I want
It takes us a minute.
the heated up chair. Oh, yeah.
AP badge.
I'll just charge this up like my cell phone. And the screen will go to a replay.
Commissioners minutes for November 3rd. Cindy, you said you have to leave at noon. Are you going to?
I'm gonna pop in.
Good. ARPA for renew.
Caitlin, question of the day, you're dropping the ball.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Do you name your car? And if you do, what is your car's name?
You read this in the morning or what?
No, I was thinking,
There's it on the chamber, it's ready to go.
oh, yeah, yeah.
We had a car that was called
I sent this
Snowball,
one.
only because it had to go through the Snoqualmie Pass and it was white and it was a wonder it made it.
ARPA Big Ben.
Well, I'm curious, do you guys bake a turkey or smoke it?
Oh, I go to my mom's house and I eat it.
How does she do
Bakes it, I
bacon?
think.
The traditional
And she grinds
baking?
it and then bakes it.
She do it in a bag?
CHG Housing Authority.
What are you doing though?
What's that?
What are you
Slow
gonna do?
roast.
Slow roast, cover it with foil for the last hour.
Oh, is that where I'm going wrong?
Do you do
Cover
any
it
ham?
with butter, paprika, and toss it in the oven.
I do love ham.
So I put like a whole
I don't love
1 pound thing of butter underneath. I'm like, I bet it was really moist.
A pound of butter.
Rob, what do you do? Yeah, under the skin.
I
Okay.
don't know. I'm not a turkey master.
Kevin,
We do it different every year.
what's your favorite?
I can sure smoke a turkey leg though.
Rob just rips the legs off.
Just rip the legs off, smoke those up.
Barb, what do you like?
Going to my best friend's house where she cooks and I just eat.
You're good at that.
Boiled?
I prefer fried. Deep fried's the best turkey I've ever had. So I will skin that whole thing and eat it and leave the turkey behind.
Yeah.
Got your answers
You're
ready?
like, refry that.
Yeah.
You can sign my name on that. I don't have my answers ready.
So if I give you my answer, you give a shot in there.
You had two different.
There we go.
Great idea.
Huh?
Great idea.
What?
Or to have it all filled out.
Well, just
I
read it,
know.
read it, Robin, we'll go, or do you want?
Out of all services, which do you think are working the best
Public Works,
in the room?
I agree with
the
that
road
one.
system. We have some of the nicest, safest roads in the state of Washington.
Shout out, gentlemen.
And how, do we have the most road miles?
Yes.
Second most.
Second
Second.
is Spokane.
Spokane County has it's pretty close, but they have a few more miles. And I think we're number 4 or 5 on bridges, reportable bridges.
I went to visit my son in Alaska.
How many on bridges?
I think we're number 4 or 5. We have 191 reportables.
I-90, don't, by Suncadia, don't go to Dukes of Hazzard. Dukes of Hazzard, you know, across that little bridge. Mishap.
Which services are you hoping to expand for people and how may you do that? What do your notes say?
I was thinking more mental health services, but I don't know how we're gonna do that.
Well,
More money.
Okay, well, we're looking at like a,
State funding.
yeah, it would be good, the mental health, our behavioral health. Renew is looking at doing that 24-hour, like officers could just drop them off and they don't have to. Sometimes if they take them to the hospital, they've got to stay there for several hours. This way they can, it was that 24-hour, they can only stay there for 23 and a half hours. And then they either have to get them into a home or recovery or hospital or somewhere, but they can drop them off.
Say it was 24 hours, figure out where to go.
It's like a very high-end airport lounge is what it looks like. So I got a picture of a video. It was a truck driver by Vermini Bridge, but I think it was outside of Grant County. Apparently the individual had been staying at the rest area by the Vernita Bridge. It's pretty dark, literally walked across the road in front of a truck and the truck had a swerve, had it on the dash cam.
What services do residents use the most and why do you think it's so important?
I think every Grant County resident uses the road system.
What do you have, Kevin?
I would agree with that.
Whether you're getting to or from school, work, farm to market. So we are one of the largest counties in the state, so our roads are important. And I'm not saying that just because Public Works is behind it, but I'm like, what county services everybody relate to?
It's tough to do much without using the roads.
Yeah, exactly.
Fire and ambulance.
County roads. Yeah, true.
So I had a story about my great grandpa who was Honda 90 where they had, it must have been the freeway system from Moses Lake
I think we
to
just signed this
Boise,
thing.
Idaho.
Jeez.
Napa,
Kind of
actually Napa.
crouched in on
By
Kevin's
the time he
name.
got there, he could
I
barely
don't think we
walk.
want to throw this on there.
That is a long.
We hope we've answered. your
Yeah,
question.
but this is nice.
And it's
This is cheap.
I have one.
They
I
save
mean,
money.
you're not, it's not a comfortable ride.
Every single
Is
one
it
that
40
has
miles an
all
hour?
those pages where you have the first page,
I don't like it.
and then
So, you know, I like it.
My first time on it.
Yeah.
It wasn't good. We actually ran across.
I'm not saying.
Selling it, like.
Take note of that.
Like that put me on it. Hit a log.
I think we have another
Before I
one,
went into
don't
the
we?
Antioch River. You know, you're just kind of like paralyzed.
Just Molly, I don't know.
You know what I would buy if I ever saw it is a
Smack
trail
that
in
one
one tank.
together.
We had pipes
Isabella.
hooked on. I used one of those for changing water, and when I was a kid, if I saw one of those,
Wait, is it a Yamaha trail?
well, it's a Honda. They had
We used to have the Yamaha. It was yellow.
to ride
So
that.
it was really lightweight.
Okay, which existing county services work well and should be expanded?
Probably our sheriff's office. I don't know.
What you have down for that one?
Still working on this one.
No. Okay.
County services. Well, nobody likes to pay taxes. I might have to say, what, working well? I would say the roads again.
We can't just put all roads.
Well, do you want to say
What
like our
services working well?
Should be
All roads lead to Grant County, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
tourism? I don't know. Tourism?
that's a good question.
We can go tourism route.
County service.
Man, we're critical of our departments.
Development services.
That's good. We don't need it to expand, really.
One-stop shopping.
Yeah, I guess you could put that to a seventh grader.
Central services, internally.
I had to put public works.
Dang, these guys need to leave.
We already did that.
We've already used them up 2 or 3 times on an answer.
What do you think?
I don't know. I'm pretty critical. I'm not a good
Kevin already,
compliment
okay,
giver.
Kevin answered one. Kevin answered
Caitlin and Barb, what do you think?
I'm not here to
What
be
county
rah-rah.
services?
I think the sheriffs, I mean, we need them.
We need them. Don't
Well,
really
they
want
are
him to
working
think we want him to expand, though. He's only,
Well, people do think they need to expand into every,
yeah.
unfortunately, the coroner's.
Oh, yeah, the coroner's office.
That's a great.
I don't want them to expand,
They need to though.
But they are.
That's unfortunate.
We are
Well,
expanding.
but what service? Yeah, you guys, come
Well,
on.
our county's growing.
The morgue.
Well, that's
It's
kind
already
of,
supporting 3 or 4 other counties.
yeah, but
Hey,
that just sounds,
They probably don't want to hear that. though.
no, I wouldn't put that one in.
let's just
Good
do
answer,
tourism.
Tourism.
We'll say all roads lead to Grant County, like Tom said.
Are you gonna put like Tom said?
You know what services are good here in Grant County compared to other counties? Our CVSO, our County Veteran Service Office.
That's an
He's
excellent
doing an
one.
excellent job, and he's doing a lot better than a lot of other mid and small counties.
Agreed.
I think they're gonna understand tourism though.
It's too late.
All roads lead to
already
Grant
right.
County.
I'm a one-track mind.
We're right in the middle of the state. It is kind of true. Cross the bridge and you're right here, if it's open.
Shout out to Tony.
Our crime reduction team has done pretty well. They've been arresting people that have stolen gas that I didn't even report it because it was so minor that I put on Farmers on Patrol, and they'll find me a week later and they're like, yeah, you know, that individual stole your gas. We arrested him. I'm like, I didn't even turn it in. It's like, I know, and you're supposed to. My dog just let him.
So Jim paid $304,000 for insurance in 2020.
And now it's 4.
Or, yeah.
Okay, so we can increase it at, I just think it's excessive. A jump.
How many county employees? 600.
700, I think. How many
What
county
would
employees?
make your county a better place to live, work, go to school?
What would what? Work?
What would make your county a better place to live, work, or go to school?
All crime, no crime.
Bloomingdale's?
I put more shopping options.
Costco.
I think a reduction in crime.
Less crime. Paths and trails.
Well, we do have Amazon for shopping clothes now. Amazon. Amazon.
Amazon Essentials.
Expanded
Amazon.
business and industry.
Expanded retail.
So here's your trivia question for the day. So I've been working with Amazon because I want to try and get an Amazon Dropbox location. Okay, so I've been working on that.
You should get the drone one.
Should. But the question about Ephrata was, as I talked to Amazon, I said, I've had to talk to the prosecuting attorney's office because if we decide to put in an Amazon Dropbox, is that in any way hurting local business, right? Because there's an argument out there that Amazon's killing local business. And then they looked up Ephrata, and we have in Ephrata 183 listed businesses that are Amazon direct businesses in Ephrata. That number blew me away. I didn't think we had 183 businesses.
Yeah. They could be like garage.
It could, yeah. A lot of people, pastors out there.
Where should I have a meal if I ever visit?
La Perla in Royal City.
All chili,
Where's All Chili at?
just across the street, right next to the old pond, the gun shop.
No.
Good little Mexican restaurant.
Oh, KP is good. Guard
Have
is
you been there,
good.
Jeremy?
No. Michael's on the Lake is good. Michael's Bistro. My all-time favorite, McDonald's, but
Yeah, KB is an experience you probably would never see.
I'm just talking about
He
Ephrata.
came to visit.
Can't beat a barbecue at the trailer hood.
what's the trailer hood at?
I didn't see you roasting hot dogs on the
I
fire.
saw your,
I'm
yeah,
not
I
roasting on
saw.
that one.
You didn't want to get too close. I know our younger kids are like,
6, 7 months.
when we could have a burning barrel, like, can we go roast a hot dog? I'm like, no, you don't know what we're burning.
It was interesting to hear the.
Everybody used to have it back in the day, had a burning barrel.
Oh, yeah.
Having the ammunition light off, wasn't expecting that.
Propane bottle.
You see that? Really good. That was hot.
I wondered if you were there or at home.
I was there. I was.
You were probably the video, the one that submitted the video.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see credits. Credits,
Yeah, on later. Somebody on Facebook.
credits, Tom Gaines.
On Facebook. Actually, I didn't care, and then somebody said.
That's why you have no eyebrows. Sometimes when you get too close.
Need a Google.
Checking the spelling.
Yeah.
That's the, employee mark.
Sure, I got mine.
Yeah, make sure you,
Don't have
yeah,
much written up.
appreciate that. Oh, now she's all up in her tabs.
What do we have, don't we have a 11?
Public hearing at 11:30 on turnkey.
Rob, did you get all your answers? Are we done, Barb, signing?
Almost.
Oh, no, we got all these.
Got a few more.
We've got 3 more minutes.
No pressure on.
I know.
It's kind of like food cart. Well, where do we eat at the Grant County Fair? We screwed that one up.
Public defense, their authorization for them to sign.
Write that on the bottom.
Grant County Fair, Space Burger.
Gross.
You have an open.
You love them or you hate them?
Open record, public hearing, turnkey and Hillcrest Line.
Public Works, rescinding Dave Bren, adding Michael Ullman.
Effective.
Thank you, Michael.
Immediately.
New interim Public Works Director. Michael has, yes.
Sure.
Let's go, Barb.
You folks will have a happy Thanksgiving.
Can you guys hear me?
They do the same, Jerome.
Enjoy that.
Is Michael unmuted?
Yes.
And commissioners, can you hear me?
You can.
All right, just wanted to say thank you guys for the opportunity. HLA is really looking forward to working with your staff to help deliver some of the existing projects and things like that. So look forward to meeting you guys in person and a future meeting here. But yeah, I just want to say thank you very much for this opportunity.
Well, we're appreciative that you are joining our team, so thank you.
Insurance in the schools. Yeah. Scary. The court, I'm afraid it has it in 2017, but you guys have it in 2016. You know which one it is. Okay, so there's just a discrepancy.
The signature is losing its momentum.
I'll resend it, yeah.
They signed the paper.
Okay, I'll check on it.
Okay. Hopefully we don't hear for any more seventh graders, because that took a lot of time. It's a lighting district in Rose Lake. Gerald takes care of the budget. Gerald, no, I don't know. It's Tuesday. He might be, who knows? Probably not.
He won't be here.
I don't know. I never know about Gerald these days.
Jay Brissy.
He's probably still counting money from taxes. Did we ever have the distraint sale?
I think he's had a couple.
Or the, yeah, it's usually during the week of Wasak. Oh, here he comes. I'll save the seat for him. Welcome, Daryl.
So you haven't? No.
Exhausted.
I remember. I didn't do anything with it until that last. Try again, you should just be able to log in with your email address and it'll send you a number. And then just put that number in there and then you go. Because it says you remember. It tells me if somebody hasn't done it with like Jim McCarron still says it right.
Just curious, on a fun topic, that RAD.
No. I thought you said fun topic.
No, I'm a sarcastic person. So,
I hope so.
how they want this number way less.
Take a little.
I didn't know if there was.
See,
a
John,
new
happy
number
Thanksgiving.
created.
I'll get that thing
Problem
emailed to
is,
you.
I don't see how they can afford it.
I don't believe that he's done with that number yet, but I did see that change.
Sorry.
They're asking me to find some
No.
person, bank to pay, bond, take this risk.
Well, and with all the rocks and stuff that you can see,
I do
I'm
some
not
there.
gonna sharpen my pencil.
Ready, Barbara?
When
Yes, sir.
if
Ready,
it goes
Caitlin?
over, I can only recover 25%.
All right.
Thank you.
You should go.
Beth, no comment on this one? Okay. Good morning, it's 11:32 a.m., November 25th, and we're here for an open record public hearing for Turnkey and Hillcrest Lighting District rate assessments. This hearing is to consider the recommendation of the Grant County Treasurer to increase the Turnkey Lighting District parcel assessment rate for 2026 from $24 to $28 per parcel, and increase Hillcrest Lighting District parcel assessment rate for 2026 from $16 to $24 per parcel. To give us a brief overview, we have County Treasurer Darrell Pheasant with us.
We haven't made a change in a while for each of these districts. We're living off the reserves. But then besides the reserves, we have a lot more delinquent accounts. So we have a higher delinquency right now. With the combination of reserves over time, because what my goal is to have at least 3 months worth of carryover balance to pay the first 3 months of bills to the PUD. And the PUD is raising their rates as well. So we're, while we're not sure what next year's bill is, hopefully budgeted a high enough number to pay a larger increase. we needed to make some drastic measures of shifting. Turnkey is the place where they don't have that many users. Unfortunately, when it was set up, only one side of the street, the residences, had to pay, even though we have a storage facility and a store or something on a corner on the other side that are benefiting from that streetlights of that beginning. But unfortunately, with all the old language on this type of, it's a type of RID, another road improvement district what this is, where the treasurer is the official person who pays the bills and makes a determination, recommendations of the fees we need. In reality, if this ever gets annexed into the city, they'd be charging this amount on a monthly basis of what we're charging on an annual basis. Because when you're in, you pay for everyone else's streetlights versus the ones in the actual costs. So we're still quite a bargain compared to what you'd be charged by a city for these streetlights, for the CASA's lights. So right now, based on the uncertainty of collection rate, I increased the amount to cover that, and hopefully the future treasurer won't have to come to you about a change for quite some time. But in reality, we don't have that much money sitting in these accounts. I've been pretty tight going into each year. But the Hillcrest, which has a lot more 392 or 90 parcels, has had a lot higher delinquency rate the last 2 years, which made this need a little quicker than I was expecting.
So what happens when they don't pay their bill?
Okay, so this is, the assessments are commingled with taxes. So if you don't pay your taxes, you're also not paying your assessments. So 3 years, we foreclose, and usually we get that oldest year paid. So we have that lag of getting an old year paid and the other year still not paid, where they pay the minimum to stay out of the foreclosure process. A few of them will pay it in full, but and so we can get more money to be dispersed to all the people of that bill. Any other questions?
None for me.
I have none.
All right. Let's see if we have any public comment then. We have no one in the audience.
You have 2 call-in users. You have Carrie and James McKiernan. I've given you both the ability to unmute if you have any public comment.
In case you don't know, Mr. Stubington lives in the turnkey.
We haven't heard from him.
Just, we all had multiple conversations of he is very inquisitive. That is a very good quality. He's still around.
He's been quiet.
I know, but he has been very inquisitive on a lot of operations. It's a lot of questions.
He's always been supportive.
Oh, yep.
If we have no public comment, Mr. Chair.
We have none.
I move that we close the public comment portion of this hearing.
It's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes to close the public comment portion of this hearing. I'll entertain a motion to approve the assessment increases recommended by our treasurer, Daryl Pheasant.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve Turnkey Lighting District from $24 to $28 per parcel and Hillcrest Lighting District from $16 to $24 per parcel.
I will second that.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes to
Thank you, Daryl.
approve the increases as stated by Commissioner Carter. Thank you. This concludes our hearing. We'll be with Grant PUD for a luncheon and back at 1 p.m. for budget and finance meeting. Good afternoon. It is 1:01 p.m. and we are here for a monthly budget and finance committee meeting.
what are we doing? This kind of- All right, we do the finance committee meeting first?
Sure.
Okay. All right, we have the October minutes. We, just reviewing them. Is there any questions regarding October minutes? Did you see it?
I haven't seen it.
Did you see it?
I agree. Should we just sign it?
Oh, no. I entertain a motion to approve the minutes. Do we have a motion? We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the couple minutes are approved.
Michelle, were you at that October meeting?
No, and it says I was not.
Okay, I thought it said you were. I was like,
Yeah, no.
All right,
thank you.
so there's the official minutes. Well, the interest rates are the latest for the 2, 5, and 10 year. The current rate of state is state total rate is 397 on the daily rate, 406 for the monthly rate. So hopefully by the end of this month or by tomorrow, technically, they won't disperse it until, we won't know until December 1st. What the final rate for November will be next week. The projecting before December that our balance, our money in the state pool is $170 million. But we have 55 million, I believe we set for the 2 days.
Yes.
55 million that's coming out of the state pool. Of course, the December 1st is always our biggest month of the year for debt payments. So we have a big debt payment coming in for all the debts and principal and interest. It's bigger than June because the principals, normally most of the principals get paid only on December 1st. And that's why any changes to rules or changes to taxes or things changing is very disruptive to the bond market because those are the consistent factors for a lot of major debt in this state for local government. So we're going to be dropping big time in our state pool because we've been anticipating these cuts. There may be another cut coming up in December. We may be doing something quickly in December, early December before and anticipate. But we've been doing a lot of buying, but we've had a lot of calls and maturities. And a lot of maturities are the things with the lousy interest rates. So we're getting to substitute those lousy interest rates with something of the current time period, which actually will improve our actual overall yield. So those are good things that happen, is we're finally getting to near the end of all those things under 1%. And from what it was 4 years ago, and getting to stuff at a current market, and we're getting much closer to a normal yield curve. So with a normal yield curve, it creates better decisions regarding investments and what you want to buy and better control of your calls in the future. So what we have is showing in green those that matured, or then we have five, of course we have the 5 million. Did you factor in the 5 million for Monday? For the 55 million, with the 55 million come out, we got the 5 million, so that makes 60 million. So, okay. Okay. Okay, we may need, yeah, we may, so we got 5 million of maturity on another taxable muni. They were a fling. These taxable munis they look great, but they're such a big hassle. In the size, this principal parts, and it's just not as easy keeping track of those. So we also have a purchase, a $20 million purchase on December 3rd for another item where our yield, actually we're buying these things at discounts, where we're getting like a 440 to 450 yield to call, and then we get that rate. So if interest rate cuts happen, they could be called
in 3 months, but they may be able to survive a few months after that, so we get this yield, that'll be better during that time period. So we bought $80 million worth of stuff this month. So that shows in red of all these purchases that we're making, but the only thing is we're showing the coupon rates. We don't give you the details of how we're buying things at discounts, which means we're getting a better yield than what the coupons are showing right there. So that's where it's getting a lot more active in investing. A little more time they have to be put in it, especially when Carrie and I are getting barraged with emails all the time, every day. And we tell them, this is what we're looking for. Everything else that you send to us is just ignored and deleted. But it's getting the email that actually shows what we want to look at and see if this is something worth our time today. So, but most of the time we're ignoring emails because there's too much work going on. We have 2 people gone today, and we sent out delinquent postcards, and everyone's calling or coming in. We've got a lot of foot traffic today in the office, so we're dealing with a lot of customers. So now, in regards to revenues, in regards to November revenues, our sales tax is almost exactly like last year. It shows that we're still about 900,000 ahead of last year and 400,000 above budget. Then we have the 1/10 monies, and those, you could see that sales tax were 6.5% ahead of last year, while the countywide sales tax is around 2% ahead of last year. So we got some good numbers coming in, but we took a big hit on the hotel motel tax. Now, I don't know, because the Gorge didn't have the concerts in September or had hardly anything, so we took a hit from their lack of activity. I don't know what happened in Sun Lakes and the other major entities who do it. And I was expecting a little better, from getting the results from the program that the community development bought regarding these Airbnb type facilities that weren't remitting in the past and are supposed to be remitting now. So I don't know what cycle those payments will be coming in. Sometimes those are on a monthly basis.
Daryl, can you just, not off topic, but on the Airbnb and stuff, like I own some, they pay the taxes from Airbnb direct to the county. I don't do anything with it.
Well, no, they send the money to the state.
And then they need to
And then
issue
the
it to you.
state remits it. But then sometimes there's some businesses who get to remit annually. Some that remit every 6 months, some that quarterly, and some remit monthly. So I don't know if Airbnb is an automatically monthly situation or if they're quarterly. And so I don't know, because Airbnb, one ways of a business, creating a business model is to collect the money and remit it not that fast. So they live off making money as additional besides their fees. So I haven't done any research to see what kind of delays or if there's anything like that. We do know that in Yakima County, they did some research and found there was a bunch of money that hadn't been remitted that they started to get on hotel motel tax. So I don't know if that impacted us as well. So, but this was quite a big reduction, but we just shows the Gorge.
Yeah, that's
They
the
live by the Gorge,
main
you die by the
ratepayer
Gorge.
for hotel.
Yeah, and so the admissions tax reflected that as well. So, and that's something hard to predict when you don't know what their next concert season is going to be and how many shows. And you have a lot more competition. With the campground has a lot more competition now with all these condos and everything being built near that area, where camping for some people, it's sort of like they didn't want to camp, but they had to. Now they have some better choices, which makes it that money coming from someplace else.
But if in unincorporated county, you should be able to receive a higher lodging tax amount.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know, how well the hotel in George does. it should be doing well because of the porch during those concert weekends, so. Because it's definitely, I would never want to camp. Yeah, it's crazy down there. And that there's a lot of people who like crazy. Like a big party. So all their taxes except for the hotel, look, was going on as scheduled. We're doing fine with the projections on that. Since I heard there was, I just haven't seen the data regarding all the months of revenues. I don't know if the revenue report's ready for October, but I didn't have anything to put on this report again. You know, the reports we used to get, the revenues of the detailed by bars code,
Yes.
as I haven't seen anything.
And the monthly reports that we send out.
Yeah, we don't have it in that format. We have the commissioner's format, but that one's the one that takes like 6 hours to generate.
So that was the one that when we canceled the meeting last week, I asked if you could get those generated and you thought that they would be done. After my email went out yesterday, all the emails I'm getting back is pushback from all the departments saying, since we don't have access to the revenue and expense that you reconcile, because they don't know where to go and get it, they're having difficulty trying to cut 2% from their budget. Is there any way we can get those published so that people can see them?
Yeah, I can have them out by tomorrow. I just finished them yesterday and haven't had time to run it, but because that's the one that takes like 6 hours to run in the background.
I understand.
And then somebody will have to post them out on there for us because we don't have anybody that's had the class.
TS will, I just have to send it to the help desk.
Yeah, that just takes 2 minutes once we have them, so.
All right, so I was gonna give Carrie, I'd give you an update on Treasury Finance package, might not be that exciting.
Same old.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah, well, right now, we're just, the last big chunk is getting the warrants. Getting it all jiving. But it's a big workload. Double doing the double entry of the warrants of every department and every tax and district. And then trying to get everything where we're all balanced to each other and where we start fully integrating. But we also, we need to be double entering because we're not sure when we start in mid-year, the end report, the way we get information for the end report may take much longer to try to put it together with two systems. So we're going with all the double entries and everything still go in so that Connie can have her end report on one platform to work on that versus trying to grab from two platforms. So that's everything's working to the beginning of January. But we just got to get the warrants faxed to before the beginning of January.
That's the big.
And so, right now, since we're giving a lot of extra time, Connie's been trying to whittle down all her annual leave and other hours. Carrie's got to do that as well. For her, all this time, she's got to get whittled down. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be to get that part of the project done. So I see that the next meeting is December 30th. Is that still a meeting date we're having on? For Tuesday, and I didn't know,
It's a Tuesday.
Is this 1 o'clock meeting now the new normal, or was this a special time for this month?
What's the December meeting time, Caitlin?
It is 1 p.m.
Okay,
1
so
p.m.
1 p.m. is the now new normal.
For
On a
November,
Tuesday,
December.
right after my Rotary, but then we don't have Rotary that day, so I don't have that as excuse.
Terrible.
Okay, I just got a plan.
He has to get it in his head.
I've only been to Rotary once this whole 6, 7, 8 months.
So, okay, all right. But yeah, we usually, we don't have Rotary meetings at Christmas week and they don't have it on New Year's week, so. So we're never around when I have my birthday for Rotary. So that's, any questions regarding the information that's presented to you? If not, then we can move it to the next part of this meeting to the budget meeting.
If you need an extra copy, I can email this to you, or, I only printed 5 copies.
Is this different than yesterday? Or
No, it's not any different than
Okay,
yesterday's.
so you have this yesterday?
Yes.
Okay.
And so the any cash, does that jive with your numbers, the 24 million, Daryl?
We haven't looked. We haven't looked.
Okay.
So busy with phone calls.
Can you re-email it to me, Mandy? I'm sorry.
Yes, I can.
So when we found the 2 million yesterday of a transfer in that was budgeted for this year. And I'd like that to be done this year.
Instead of
next year, because we want to try to deal with the I'd rather have what we're trying to target actually be to meet our goals for the ending cash balance this year and not make it look like we had a huge drop. But then is that the only huge transfer in that is left? Or is there a few other transfers into current expense from other funds that are still out there as well?
Well, you said there was your O&M one,
Right.
but that's not very large.
Right, but I know, but since we didn't, I said, do we have a master list of all the transfers that approved from last year's budget that we're going through to do those transfers? And then why was the 2 million not on that list?
It was on the list.
It is on the list.
Those happened at the end of the year in December.
Okay.
But there was only that one and the employee growth one for 1.1 million. And that one had already been taken care of because there had been expenses incurred for that one, which has some money left available in it. And then all the transfers out have been done. So there's no more expected transfers in except for your O&M and that 3 million.
2.
1 million was from the fund balance, 2 million was a direct transfer.
Okay, so actual from the ending reserve.
Yes.
Okay. All right, didn't we decide not to earlier to transfer the money to the employee growth fund? I thought we decided not to do that transfer.
I don't remember that even coming up.
It was not technically doing the transfer because we kept it for the 600,000 that were approved expenditure increases in current expense. So yeah, there was no actual moving of money, but it was accounted for as part of the 1.1 million. Because we didn't move it out and put it into 105 because you didn't want us to.
Right, because we had a bunch of money in 105. It looked like we had enough money to cover things.
Yes,
in the
but
current balance.
600, approximately 600 something thousand of it was approved towards salaries and benefits for 2025
To go against.
in current expense. So there was no transfer, but it was allocated.
So then that means the monies in that fund were not used to pay for that in the 105 fund.
They're current expense funds.
So Mandy, if I understood you correctly, I remember that fund yesterday having something like $2 million in it.
Yes, that's the original setup.
Yeah, 600,000 of that or whatever's left in it is what is identified to help supplement wages.
600 something thousand was used to supplement wages and current
Was
expense.
used, not,
Mhm.
okay, not.
But, so weren't we supposed to transfer money out of the 105 fund into current expense to cover that?
No, it was 1.1 out of current expense that we were gonna put into 105. Because we were having to lower the fund balance, so we would not be in non-compliance.
Okay,
It was a way to,
so we still have 2 million.
So let's back up a little bit. So the 105, the purpose of the 105, okay, my understanding was to help pay for training, help pay for compensation connections.
Yes.
Okay. And
And
then,
when those wage changes came,
yeah,
to help with those, not for any other than those.
yeah, but 600,000 has already been used to pay for wages.
that was board approved. Mhm. We didn't tie it, we just left it in current expense. So whether or not that John Smith wages were that, I don't know.
So it's really, the first point was, the fund had $2 million in it, do we move another 1.1 million to 3.1? We didn't do that, so we still have the 2 million. So then, besides the expenses that are non-payroll expenses, those get charged directly to the 105. Now, if you have payroll, we wanted the payroll, any future payments for payroll type items and benefits to be a transfer from 105 to current expense, and that'd be the funding source. So is any of that money being used as a resource to current expense for next year?
And as you ponder that question, let me ask this one too. So I'm sorry if I'm asking basics here, but where should the 105 reside as far as ownership? Who should be owning and managing the 105?
Auditor and BOCC.
So I've heard a number of things over the past couple of days as we've tried to do. Is that, my question is that the best place for it? Should it be under HR? Should it just be under the BOCC or just under the auditor? Or is there a reason why it's like shared? I mean, is there any feeling from anybody in the room on that? I think it would, if it's salaries, wages tied to compensation connections, I guess I'm curious why it's not under HR.
Yeah, it's supposed to be used for that.
Does
I
anybody have
think
an
in
issue
the
with
very beginning, when we put it there, we asked who was gonna own it, and nobody spoke up and took that on. It was silent.
Okay, and I think Tom, this Cindy, we just wanted it as a standalone account, so I think it's gonna take a group effort to spend that money down. It wasn't just one person that had control over it, it was everybody.
Well, and I don't mean to make it sound like I want one person to have control over it, but over the past couple of days, what I have discovered is nobody really knows who's managing it and what's happening with it. So that I'm just trying to clear up any ambiguity going
Did anyone
forward.
do a budget for it?
Yeah. Nope, not that I'm.
Was there a budget?
Did we just budget the whole amount?
I think we budgeted the fund balance.
But
So I'm just trying to make it easier for everybody. And if it's not, that's okay. I just wanted to bring it up.
It's all right. I'm still confused though, because you said that the BOCC approved using that fund in 25, but we were holding the fund for after the comp study. So that doesn't chime in my head at all.
We used it for the comp study.
Not the initial 2 million, but there was a bunch of increases that were specifically approved. Here, I have the spreadsheet.
Well, Cindy, what she's saying is that we're also used it for 600,000 in salaries in 2025, and I don't remember.
1.1 million was budgeted for fiscal year 25 specifically for not salary survey, but increases in additional positions or changes. And at the beginning of the year, there was a list of approximately 600 something salaries that were approved to use that money for 2025.
Yeah, that is correct, because it was higher.
Out of the 1.1 million.
All the only current expense employees, it was voted to do that, yes.
And we decided just not to do the 1.1 because then if you paid it out of that fund, then you're adding current expenses because you didn't want the payroll costs to come out of the 105, you wanted it to come out of current expense. So then we had to put the money in the fund and then you would have gave it back to current expense, so.
So we never did the transfer.
So what we're saying, but now that we didn't do the transfer and we still have $2 million, we still have the cost paid. How much was the projected cost? What's an estimate of those costs? And then what's happening with the rest of the money?
So estimate of which costs?
The cost of the survey.
Compensation connection. We have a contract with them, so we know what the cost is.
Which should have been part of the budget of that fund. The budget should have been done to have that cost broken out and not just a.
So I guess this goes to my point as
who's supposed to do the budget.
Singularly, man, it doesn't mean that everybody doesn't have access to it, but who should be managing that? I guess that's just my
Because
question.
then I was just wondering, if we have other payroll costs that are come out of current expense, do we have another revenue source to go into current expense from that fund? That's on top of the expenses that we have from this contract.
Just a minute, Gerald, I think there was discussion last year. I'm trying to recall because we bounced around several different times. I think they wanted to take it out of that employee growth account but we didn't. So we should have added that much money in our budget, the 600,000 or 700,000, whatever it ended up being, and we added it into current expense. I think that was part of the $4 million reserve. I don't think ultimately we took it out of that kind of employee growth salary survey account.
Because I look at this as the same thing as the jail, where the 117 fund is transferring money to the current expense for the additional jail costs. And so I look at this as quite similar concepts as for this fund that doing the same thing with a portion of its money. So then not knowing what the contract amount is, how much is left, and what's the plans for what is left. Because this was fun, I don't think, was this fund intended to last many years at all? It was supposed to be taken care of and resolved and closed off.
We started
And
to do
so
the
I think
salary
we should be
survey.
getting close to that close off. It may be 27 when we close it off. But we also need to look at it as whatever the cost of the survey is gonna be, then this money is gonna be paying for some of the results of that survey, which will be transfers from this fund to current expense. And have we tapped this money, any of this money for 26? Because technically no one officially did the budget. So we don't know the answer because no one actually was given the budget to do it.
So who's responsible for doing it now? Back to the same question.
This one's really tough. I know that.
You're doing the salary survey. You're in charge of the salary survey, correct?
That's what I've been told.
So I'm gonna say that probably
I would
it
say
should
because
be
of the
maybe you doing that, since that's what the original thing was set for.
But then the other part is the other part of transfers out for other things isn't really, you wouldn't know.
And then it's gonna have to be a decision after that.
Right.
But to actually do the budget, I mean, at least that, because she has the numbers, we don't.
Yeah, and I mean, HR, and Mandy's heard this, I think everybody in the room has heard this, is I have, out of HR, we have paid for compensation connections out of HR's budget, out of the 124 fund, and 105 should be paying us back for that, the amount that we have already paid.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that transfer hasn't been made, I don't think.
But yeah, but the thing is what kind of budget did we do for this year for that fund?
There wasn't a budget for 25 for that fund, and there isn't a budget.
But the
for
fund did
26.
exist at the beginning of 25. It was created prior to 25.
Yes,
So we
We've been
didn't.
just throwing in the balance.
Yeah,
We do the, yeah.
And well, that's technically fine. I don't like it that way.
But that's the way it's been happening, because we haven't.
Spelling out, just like every other budget, where it's going per the official codes, and not just making it just a transfer with no explanation in the details of what may be made to the public.
But see, last year, we didn't even know if the salary survey was gonna, I mean, it hadn't even begun, and we didn't even have
So in reality,
a company
when we
to do
have-
it.
Since we budgeted for it, but it's just budgeted to, are we allowed to create categories within it now? Because it's still not changing the budget of what we want to expense for, so we can create a history for this year. For that fund on transfers out to reimburse HR and other departments and for the county. So we actually have more accurate expense codes.
So there actually won't be any transfers out for that, because those expenses are gonna be moved from HR to 105 for the connection. And then the other small use for NACO stuff has been expensed to 105 directly, not transferred. And since we never moved the 1.1 million to 105, there's not been any transfer activity.
But I thought HR was the opposite of what you just said. HR out of their budget, which is.
They paid for it out of 124, their department, but those expenses are gonna get moved to 105, not the money moved, the expenses moved.
By year end?
Yes,
But we've paid for those expenses.
but they'll be moved like it never happened in HR. It's a reallocation of the classification of those expenses. So they'll exist in 105.
And actually, so you mean, but which will increase the current expense budget, because HR is
Yes.
under
It'll
go
current
back to
expense?
it, yes.
Okay, so you're gonna do it that way versus where we normally
Yes,
see
that
it
way
as a
HR is
trend.
not over budget, yes. Because if we did it the other way, HR would still be over budget and it would be inflated.
Okay. All right, so that's a revenue source. For what, how much?
Like, it's not that much right now, unless there's been more since that request.
So what all is intended to come, I know you're talking a lot about transfers. What all is intended to come out of that 105 besides compensation connection and the possibility of salary increases after compensation connection? Because we could also see salary decreases. We could also see, a study that we have to freeze wages until we catch up. I mean, we don't know what the outcome is going to be, right? So, what all was that fund intended for?
It all started out to do salary survey.
Yeah, 105 was salary survey, training, leadership stuff.
So should we, just asking, so should we split that up so that there's somebody, let's just say under the county administrator role, I'm in charge of training, right, and leadership development. Would it be better suited under my budget so I can report to the board on, our leadership path, the expenses of that, what we're investing, in our employees across the board, or is it just better leaving it all lumped together? I'm just throwing it out.
I think it's better under HR and you work with HR on it, being one of your departments.
It's 180,000.
So I have $180,510.49 that we've paid out.
So 180,000
$180,000.
that will be moved out of the current expense fund, HR to this fund. So
Yes.
it's a new
Cash will be
revenue increase of
replaced.
almost 200,000.
Yes.
Okay. Then we have zip of money's being moved from current expense right now for next year.
Correct.
And do you have, say you have, I thought the fund was also to pay for if there's increases, to cover increases in the short term for the county to absorb it until we run out of money and then we have to fully absorb it. And so there may be a decision. You may not want to fully absorb it in 1 year. You may should look at maybe closing the fund at the end of 27. And so you may do whatever expenses and then take half and half and transfer that. If the problem is if you don't have increases that are out much, you set up a fund that really had a specific purpose. And so you have to go through extraordinary measures to prove that we are not successful to spend the money for that purpose and do some additional declarations. Because we have cumulative reserve funds. And when you create them, they're specific. You can't create it just to put money there. It's specific for purposes. So again, if you're for the possibility of which you don't know that's going to happen, you may have a fund that exists and then you don't have things in the future to use it for. And then have to decide what you're going to do with the balance of the money. It's hassle having budgets for a lot of different funds. But some of that you may want to have a transfer of some possibilities of a transfer to current expense of maybe $400,000, and that be help to go to reducing the net effect of how much we're short, and then possibly look at it as doing the same thing the year after. just trying to find all the different revenue sources. So that we don't drain, we want to drain the current expense reserve fund over time, not in 1 year.
Cleared up my 105 confusion, just so everyone knows. We kept it in 105 so we could control the new positions. Yep.
So rather than putting it into department and offices funds, it was put into 105. The requests at budget were put into the 105, and then that money was then allocated out of 105 into the departments once the board approved said position or reclassification.
Yeah. How's position management working this year?
Good. I thought
No, I mean for 26, we have it separated out, or is it built in?
we have it separated out.
Okay.
One thing to note is, I don't think this was specific to current expense positions. I think if you had something in public works or in other places, that this fund might be accessible for those as well.
No, Daryl, it was just current expense.
Okay.
I thought we were doing them for both. Weren't we, Mandy?
I think it's probably the expectation that for the funds that can afford it would probably absorb the increased costs, but like an indigent fund like New Hope might be benefited from the 105.
Okay, but Mandy, did the 105 account come from, wasn't that current expense funds?
Yeah.
Yes, it was current expense funds.
So, and I know veterans, I think when they got a new employee, we just had veterans use their fund because that would mean that current expense is funding the new positions. And I thought it was only used for current expense positions.
That has been the direction. But I don't know if it's been outlaid that it couldn't be used for a non-current expense fund if it was needed in the future. Just as current expense could supplement any fund in a time of need when available.
I guess to help with our shortfall, we could take that money out of our travel training salary survey and put it in the budget. And then when the salary survey is complete, we just wouldn't have the revenue, but it would definitely be an easy way to kind of help backfill our budget, our shortfall.
For the goals of the fund, for the goals of the creation of the fund.
Like $1 million, or are you thinking all of it?
Well, I just assume not touch it, but I mean, it's an opportunity to use it. I don't know what to do right now, how to solve our shortfall.
Well, first thing is, I wouldn't word it the way you worded it. First thing is, the money has a specific purpose, and it wasn't just to be a placeholder to put it there and bring it right back just for no reason. So the money had to be specific for a purpose. We're not sure yet the results of the survey. If the survey shows how more money is to be contributed to some positions, then that money should come from this fund. There's also a benefit effect as well when you have increases in salary. So this fund was intended for that. It wasn't just a placeholder to hold money, because we moved the money because we had too much money. We were over the cap. So we moved it over there. But moving it over there has to be a purpose where you just don't just put it back. Because the whole goal of having a cap is to not do that type of thing. Right now, that's a big unknown right now. 105 is a big unknown. It has a lot of things hard to budget for, for next year.
The commissioners could do it via resolution so that it couldn't be touched for other purposes, but that ties their hands a little bit.
That's, when you move money out of current expense because of the cap, you have to tie the hands of the commissioners to make it specific to a purpose.
Aren't we pretty clear what the purpose is for it? So,
And I think there's gonna be some opportunities, we just don't know the numbers. Right now, but we can, maybe we can say move 300, 400,000, but it has to be really based on good data. And you only move what you can move.
Without that known number, Daryl, what would you recommend?
So I was talking 300 to 400,000. But it doesn't mean that maybe you only have 200,000, maybe only 200,000 happens. But then you don't have to do budget extensions to do more. If you do a higher number and you still have to be dependent on actual data, actual results, then you transfer what you do, and then we gotta realize that we're not gonna get money coming into current expense for that reason. And you gotta make sure keep that in mind. The $200 million, $2 million is a big expectation of big changes to salary. If we didn't have that expectation, then we wouldn't have moved so much to the fund.
we didn't know what a compensation study would cost at the time. We had plans of training and what else would you call it? Where people would come and speak to us, camaraderie building, I guess you could say. We had planned like a lot of different plans for it with nobody being the lead of the fund. A lot of those ideas have kind of just sat out there as ideas. But training is taking place. Salary studies going and salary changes will come.
Okay, so just keep that in mind if you have a transfer to current expense. That's the potential possibility. And then the question is how much you want to transfer from this fund for 26.
How much do you need for salary studies still? Wasn't it like 385 or something?
The total was $331,200.
So we're at $1.4 million extra plus. Maybe 27 isn't a good clean out year, maybe 28. Because what you're gonna, whatever increases, then you'll use that money and the growth on that increase to reimburse whatever years it takes.
I would like to keep as much of the fund as possible for training since 3 of you won't be here in the future and whoever replaces is going to need ample training. Not that I need $1.7 million, but I want them to have more than I had. So you have another 150 to go. And the fund's at 1.7?
No, I looked at it, Tom thought 2 million is still in the fund at this time. Yeah, because we
But
haven't.
no transfers to HR yet.
Yeah, we haven't done the transfer HR of the 180,000. And then if you're talking about the 331, now we're talking about just over 500,000 total, which means the 1.4 million is still in the fund with no plans.
I'll spend it. mean,
We have another $200,000 of training.
Well, and the concern is that even if compensation study comes back and we have lots of wage increases, we can burn through that money rather quickly, but is it gonna be able to maintain it? Or are we
Well,
looking-
that's the thing, is it's
Yeah, are we
also
looking
intended
at-
to absorb some of the pain of that decision over time by using this fund to be reimbursed for the results of that, to help the budget.
Because the last thing we want is layoffs in 3 years because we don't plan for that.
The fund is right at 2,060,000.
So if we did a 5,000 or 500,000 allocation into 26,
And it only happens if you actually have 500,000 of the appropriate for that.
Yeah.
This transfer is specific to increases in benefits from the salary survey. If you only have 200,000, you're only doing 200,000.
but last year we did 600.
We haven't done anything.
For
Well,
25.
the 600 was the increase in the,
It was current expense. It was from the 1.1. They were gonna move out of current expense into it, but then they didn't.
was that based on, was it?
It was for the cap to move one.
Right, but I'm talking about the reason with the 683,000, was that because of COLA, or was that for what reason?
It was a variety of approved changes.
You could do the same thing.
Correct. Right, but right now, you may keep it focused on strictly now results of the salary survey.
Decorah, currently the salary survey that we're going to pay out in 2025 or 2026, is that in your budget or where is that at? Is it budgeted anywhere, the expense?
No.
That's why it's 105 discussion and no one really actually did the budget for it. To show things like that.
Well, at least there's a fund, so we need to somehow either put it under that account or transfer that amount into the 380,000 into current expense with the.
Sorry, Cindy, I'd put 1.5 for next year in the 105 fund.
For that purpose.
Well, it was for said the salary survey, yeah, and those results, but not the specifics, so it's.
Okay, sounds good, thank you.
But it's in the budget. But Daryl thinks it should be less.
When you say 1.5, what does that mean?
1.5 million budgeted
budgeted
out of
1.5
105 at their discretion for what they've intended to use the fund for.
See, that's where I didn't understand because that's too quick. You were saying to plan for it to be closed at 28.
Well, no, but I'm not sure how you'd spend the 1.5.
And they might
It
not.
won't happen.
We might not. Some of that is to pay for the compensation connection survey, that contract.
So you have that.
Just didn't have a
you have that
number,
expense
so
order.
we put in an amount.
So that, let's say that's 300 and some odd thousand, that gives you 700,000 left. And if they come back and say, everybody has to be increased to this, and the BOCC says, yes, we will, then that's what that was gonna pay for.
But if we can't pay it the year after, you wouldn't do those increases with that money.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with, you have this balance, but our budgets aren't basing it on, we're looking at what we think we're gonna spend, what's the revenues, and then whatever the difference is continuing on with a ending fund reserve going into 27.
And I mean, you just need to hold on to that. I mean, the whole thing is crystal ballish because you don't know what the survey is gonna come back and say. And then once it does, that's when the BOCC needs to make a decision on what they wanna do or how they want to manage that going forward. So it doesn't really, the money is in there, it's in there, it's just gonna sit there. The only thing it'll pay for is the contract.
Yep.
It's the only thing we know for sure. My opinion, my 2 cents.
So, you can say, you have the 330, you got the say 500,000 and the rest stays in reserve. You budget a $500,000 transfer out and transfer into current expense, but it's still specific for your approval to follow the intent of the transfer out, transfer. That it's just not automatic.
Can't put it in anybody's department budgets.
Well, I think that would be, all those type of transfers go into miscellaneous government. For all those transfers in, where does transfers in normally go? Miscellaneous
Transfers into
One 42.
142, yeah, just 142 is the, absorbs all these different things. So if you want to do 500,000, then you got, and you still got over 1 million going into 27. You have more expenses other than salaries, and you'll still have a transfer 27. So now it sounds like 28 that you hopefully you close down. You'll see, not we will see. You will see.
You're all.
But
You really should stay around.
You're gonna stay, right, and help us do this?
I am so.
Gonna stay.
I now have a wound care appointment on Tuesday next week.
We haven't hit you that bad.
No, I'm just having a problem with the leg.
Okay, are we done with this one? Can we move on to the next one?
Can we do?
No, I just was just curious on that one fund.
Was it there?
I think we've hit that one.
You're in charge.
I'm in charge.
Yeah, I don't know, you know, because since this is your budget meeting, what other things do you want to talk about?
Well, I think Mandy started and then it kind of went with our, I don't know, we were just going through this, which we kind of already went through.
Someone interrupted and took this whole different direction, Carol?
It's fine. It usually is that way, so it's really different than it is any other
You
month.
want Daryl to be quiet once in a while?
No, you're fine.
No.
Are we beyond that?
All I know is, tomorrow's Thursday.
Oh, God. What is tomorrow? What do you say?
Something about something.
Okay, I just want to make sure, I'm going to jump in here because it's on my little list of things. We need to it looks like the revenue is less for veterans assistance, so we need to let Tony know that his revenue from property taxes is lower, so he can adjust his budget accordingly. And then I was talking to Tom this morning, our fair transfer, it's gone from 400 and some odd thousand to $900,000 this year. So we really need, I mean, that's a big, maybe it was 500,000. Anyway, it's like a $400,000 or $500,000 jump that we need to address because that's a huge increase out of current expense.
The majority, he said, was the insurance increases. Like the additional, normally he has 400,000 or 500,000.
Yeah, and Tom, I think, said that additional was 100,000 from last year, this year. Was that correct, Tom?
Yeah, I
This
believe
year
it's,
should have been that much.
I believe, well, let me check.
You got, is it based on a average FTE?
What's the insurance?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's based on, well, no, the insurance was based on number of workers and worker hours.
Okay, so worker hours still count, so when you have part-time workers helping do the fair, that's not gonna be a
So
full year.
first, before we devolve into that conversation, his insurance rates went down.
Okay.
So I have $704,000 estimated for his insurance. But I haven't gone back through with what Blair gave me. That was the initial one, that was the initial 14% increase.
Yes, he worked all of that out today and got it, so. 304,231 for 2024, but something told me that, that doesn't make sense, because Blair told me it went down. So I don't know that Jim's number is correct.
Yeah, I thought the insurance at the fairgrounds went down.
It did.
That's what he told us.
Yeah.
I have it.
Then that would decrease his need for
Jim is
transfer.
Online. I can promote him to a panelist.
Who's online?
Jim McKiernan. He can probably speak to his budget a little bit.
He won't be able to speak to the insurance unless Blair talked to him.
There was another increase that Cindy was asking about, right?
That's because that's the transfer, the increase from current expense because of the increase to insurance.
And are we talking Blair's, the new formula, or the old formula?
The new.
Has the new formula been adopted?
Do you want the amount from me that Blair told me?
When are we gonna formally adopt it? It consent next week before it's, I mean,
Yeah.
we have, well,
Because that's gonna really skew some departments' budgets.
it is. I told Blair this morning I was good with this if he wants to get it to the BOCC. I don't know what else you do unless you want him to keep tweaking the numbers, but he's, we needed to get those numbers to Jim because Jim was trying to reduce his budget by 2%.
Reallocation
Didn't
for
have
that.
expense and revenue numbers.
For
So
HR.
Right.
What?
Do you want me to do the reallocation?
so I'm sure, it might be good to have Blair on the line too.
Oh, the expenses?
Want me to get him?
And we can sit here and do it.
Yeah, it might be
Well,
good.
I wasn't sure if they're in Tyler or not.
Text him and have him.
Because I've got
I
a
gotta
total
see where they are. I think they're in
for
Tyler.
$432,871.87.
I know.
That's premium share, his buildings, equipment, and vehicles.
Some of them might be, some might be
That's his
events.
insurance.
I don't know. That's why I haven't done it.
And well, you had some upgrades to facilities.
it
so
to?
that usually has upgrades.
I didn't know if I could find
Connections,
it.
connections.
Unless you were being overcharged.
What is it called?
Yeah, so whatever the allocation now is, hopefully we treat that as baseline.
And that's based on, this new formula that Blair has come up with, based on our 14% increase, our total amount divided by all of the various offices with their risk level, number of employees, claims. We gave it all a weighted average and broke it down, by department. It was the most equitable way to do it. Some people are higher, some people are lower. Depends on who you are and what your risk level was. So, have you heard back?
I just texted him, so.
So we'll try and get Blair
Yep,
online
on his
too.
way.
He's on his way over, so he can discuss it too.
So, Carrie. Okay.
He's careful on my court. Happy Thanksgiving.
I need another
Be safe.
person on the phone.
Don't miss, I can
See y'all.
Bless
You're
you.
looking at Blair's.
I'm sorry, Michelle.
I don't have a name on it.
For fairgrounds. Yeah, okay.
It's something
But it's more than
connections.
just the 156. We're talking
How
total
come-
insurance.
Oh, right.
My report designer's not working. Can you not do it remote? GP's report designer? I'm trying to run that report and then let me do it. You done it?
Sorry, Jim, you can chime in anytime. I just wanted to make sure everybody was, and Blair is on his way over.
He says
I was just gonna add that my billed amount so far this year is $618,180. That's my current expenses for 2025, so.
So it goes down to,
So.
And the
as-
original amount that Mandy had said was correct. She said 704, and that's exactly what I was told originally. And so Blair's new number is that 432 that you have.
Yeah, and what Cindy was referring to is on the budget input this year, it's showing in those operating transfers, it's showing a transfer of 900,000. And that's what Cindy was questioning, was where'd 900,000 come from?
So that would
Yeah,
reduce that to 7.
Why isn't it reducing it to 432?
No, the transfer is from 900 to 700,000, because it's reducing it 200,000, you said. It's reducing it.
Yes, but I guess my question is, we have such a big jump from last year's current expense transfer to this year's, and
Because
it's
last year,
big.
the insurance was estimated to be double what it was in 2025, which is apparently not the case anymore.
Right.
Yeah, so that was the increase.
900,000 doesn't have to be, so shouldn't the transfer be what the actual rate is? So if Blair knows that the total insurance for the fairgrounds is 432,000, or other than insurance, is there other monies in that operating transfer?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit of other stuff, because he doesn't totally support his operations.
Okay. So I don't know what that breakout is. I just know what the insurance is.
So if I change that to 418,180 for insurance, then
433.
Oh, 432?
I can give you an exact number.
I just had 200,000 less.
So if there was a decrease in insurance from last year to this year, there should be a decrease in the transfer from current expense from
Yes.
the county.
Yes.
Well, like a decrease from last year. So if we did 500,000, it should be 500,000 or less.
I don't know. I think he has other things, so I don't think it's a direct,
So I guess.
So in the 2025 budget, the interfund transfer to make the fairgrounds whole revenue wise was around 550,000. I'm gonna look it up real quick. That was the total. So if you're adding another 132,000 to that, then it'd be around 660. I'm gonna pull up what the original amount was budgeted, which was based on the old rates for insurance.
so the operating transfer would be 706,296.
Yeah, so the insurance portion of that was 432, 871, 87. That's what Blair has based on his.
Okay, so if the insurance was down, so Jim, what was the increase from last year to this year that current expense is funding other than insurance?
Just general operational expenses. We always run with about a $550,000 deficit. And so the difference in insurance would be 550, 296 plus whatever that difference is in insurance. I'm figuring it out real quick.
Okay, well, and I think this is a time where we've always been pretty flush. This year, I think we're really cutting back. So I would ask you to kind of look at your budget and see if there's things that you could cut back on.
I
Since,
did.
okay, some
Tom
people
that.
are actually losing employees. And
Yep,
so, thank you.
I gave that to Tom this morning.
Yep. He'll send it to Mandy by tomorrow night.
Okay, I haven't seen that. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate that.
You bet.
This is revenues increasing from this year.
I'm not sure.
Because we start with all these major improvements we're making, it should be generating more revenues.
Well, we were down 14% for fair this year, Daryl, so that's not exactly true. It's not a one-to-one relationship between improvements and revenue.
But
That's usually never the case in any business that I've seen.
The weather was very good this year.
The politics was very
So you
bad
do
this
the
year.
spreadsheets?
They should be updated. Looks like it really changed.
Overall, though, I'm not sure. I'm not sure where this is getting us this afternoon in this budget process.
Yeah, it's not.
What's the name of that? Just doing the salary survey. Is it?
Compensation Connections.
Yeah, Blair here, so.
It'll help out with the insurance questions.
Missy, Daryl, and I are here to talk levy to verify the numbers.
Just before you do that, your spreadsheet that you came up with, the one that we sent to, can you put that through to consent for next week?
Yes.
By the board?
Yes,
Need it by 4 today.
I'll send it to you.
Did you send it to me too?
I can send it to you,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
I'll send it to you. I have it, it's done, all the numbers are in there, so you'll have that.
Awesome.
And then I can send you the spreadsheets with numbers for all the breakdowns of vehicles and stuff too.
Cool.
And then be there for the consent discussion so we can discuss it.
So the original number was 550,296 for the interfund transfer. And if you add the difference between the budgeted amount for insurance and the new amount, it's 621,134. The problem is we don't know where we are on revenue. And we don't have a good grasp of expenses yet. So that interfund transfer may be less than that amount once we know where we are from the end of the year.
I'm beating a dead horse, but that's why those reports are so important to the department heads, because they reconcile those.
So I can't tell Daryl his numbers since we haven't seen revenue since July.
And I just got an email from Kim Allen who's saying the same thing. She can't do it without having access to the current, so.
It'll take a while for them to run. Yeah, I can't get it to start.
No. It's not just me.
Yep.
I'm just feeling like the bad guy.
I know. I know it.
Run upstairs and start it.
That's bad.
Why would it not let me do it?
Are we, what kind of meeting are we having right now?
Well, Barb and Missy have another meeting, but it's 2:00, so we're basically in budgets.
Yes,
Anything
and that's,
budgets.
this was related to your budget for next year. So Daryl, I just wanted to show, remember we talked about the numbers?
Yeah,
Missy changed.
I fixed on my draft the resolution, so it would reflect what I was directed to do, which was to grasp all of the banked capacity and the 1%. Because if you use the smaller number, it will limit you and you might not get your bank capacity. Just.
So its intention is not specific to the 101, but that section is intended for the entire effect.
Yes.
Of the increase. Okay,
Yes.
well, I made a mistake of thinking that was specific just to the 101. The decision for the 101, the commissioners have to do a 101 decision as part of their multiple decisions in this process. So that was my fault. Okay, all right, so if her number, yep, do those numbers. As I advised you incorrectly.
These,
Yes, so.
I viewed them, reviewed them, would mean I know exactly what I'm looking at.
Cindy, did you have a chance to review the levy forms I emailed you?
No, I'm looking right now.
So Daryl and Missy have reviewed them and.
Mrs. No, we want to use Melissa's numbers.
Which is what I.
Which is the correct numbers, versus my wrong interpretation. And so then those just need to be approved by the commissioners. But I still, this one was done correctly.
Pardon?
This one was done correctly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, at least I got something right.
Yeah, that one was, yeah. Well, no. Now that I look at it, you want to include this number in this number?
It is. You said that this number was in that number when I asked yesterday.
Let me run up into the
Do you have the worksheet? Because I didn't have. I mean, I did it to fix the thing. Let me double check.
No, we can put it
I've
up,
been doing
make it
many different things
20
today.
I like to walk around a little bit.
Oh, we can.
I will.
Just saying, teams though.
Me?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the 25 should get you there. If you add it and put 26, it would probably just cover the base.
So if you put 26 million. Because I thought I asked the question, is the administrative refund, the refund levy of all three in that 25, and I thought I got an answer.
Yeah, for the total, I would put the 25 plus the 142, 669.33.
Okay.
I would add those two together and put the total there. That's what I would do.
It could be just estimate that's
add
way
this
over,
to
but that's
that.
just.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh,
Almost made it.
you almost made it underneath.
Now you get two, once you get back up there.
Oh, okay.
If that was horseshoes, that would be not very
Thank you.
good.
That would not be very
If
good.
it was
You
a-
could make the sand.
If it was a grenade, it'd be a good one.
It's like, yeah.
I
See,
would
now he's really good at
non-dented
it.
candy.
Non-dented candy.
Yeah, we're all
Okay, so we're still waiting for Kevin to come back and then have Cindy online.
Kevin's not coming
Kevin's
back.
not coming back.
Yeah, so
Okay,
we've
so
got
then
Cindy
you have a.
Okay, I'm online here.
So, well, do you clean this up or we just give him Tim with his numbers for them to prove?
Just let them know, I mean, just we're adding this number to that.
She's saying now to use this number here.
Instead of
Just to be
like
safe,
that.
yeah, you'd add them together
26.
on the certification.
So if you want, this or what you're, this is what you're doing,
That will capture everything.
Okay,
these two, there you go.
so I'm adding the 25 million to the 1.042 administrative refund amount.
Yes.
Together and putting it up in the total.
Yes.
Okay,
So you're now instructing your Barbara to fill out the form with those numbers as part of your
Any
motion.
motion to do that?
no, we just,
Okay, Cindy, are you in favor of Barb filling out the paperwork this way?
Yes, I'm looking at the paperwork
It's changed.
right now. So Gerald gave her some numbers to put in, I feel.
Yep.
Melissa has corrected what we are doing.
Okay.
this is still okay putting those numbers? in?
Yes,
Okay, perfect.
yes, I need those numbers that way.
Yes,
Please.
absolutely. Okay, I'm gonna go do that and I'll just email them last and this will be for signature on Monday.
Okay?
Okay, thank you all for your help.
Thank you, Barb.
All right, now then, after that's been approved, then what is the purpose of this now time period? And
Figure out.
well, I just wondering, because I got,
What's our budget deficit? What's our current budget deficit? That's what we're doing right now.
until we get something.
What do we need to solve that?
Well, first thing is, when we get October numbers, we have a lot of things that happen in November, that those October's numbers would reflect.
We have October numbers.
Right, but there's a lot of movement of money in November. We'd have to look at trying to gather all the data for November of the negatives and positives to see how that gets to us on a cash balance and November estimate. So, but we needed a starting point.
But it's November 20.
I know. Usually we don't do month end until first week in December. And then, and normally have more time and not this by the end of next week situation to have that number.
We're backed up by an RCW acre. That's what we're backed up against.
I know. Well, we had more linear and different interpretations of that for many years.
Well, a lot of counties run on a more lenient interpretation of that than we do.
We can be, well, I can't say.
I know.
can't say
All you could-
lenient, but
You know,
I can say his
and
opinion, but it
sometimes,
doesn't matter.
you can go get a legal opinion, and sometimes you don't get the legal opinion because you may not like the answer that you get.
Okay, not even gonna go there, but yeah.
You know, it would be great to have this and have us do our month reports and get it done by the end of next week.
Let me ask you this, Darryl. What would it take for you to adopt the budget next week?
I don't know, technically, I don't know for sure. If, you mean if I was a commissioner?
Yeah.
Okay.
So right now.
No,
it's
knowing the
not-
cash balance.
Okay, how come we don't know our cash balance?
Well, first thing is, our cash balance, we know what we have in October. We have a lot of changes that happened in November. We don't have a system that does a daily cash thing. We have a system that's currently, the state auditor's office wants us out of Connie's system that we've been doing this transition out of database. And we're moving things to Clemmer's system.
So let me pause you there for a second. So we've always done well, except for a couple of weird years, right, the last 2 years. We've always been done with our budget meetings by this time in November. Everybody knows what's happening. I mean, there's always a budget adoption and some little things might change, but all of those, we operated with something less than that in the past to get to a point where they adopted a budget, because we didn't have November numbers last year or the year before or the year before that.
Last year, early December, I was asked to try to figure out all the revenues of the major revenues of December. And then we asked the question to the expense side, what is up? Do we have any major transfers out of current expense or things to go into current expense? And the transfers in that I was aware of was part of my revenue numbers of the increases. And then we took what is our average expenses that we normally do for each month, and is there anything extraordinary for that? And that's how we did it last year, because it was in early December that I was tasked to do that.
So without having the November numbers, how would you, if you were a commissioner, adopt a budget?
Well, the first thing is you're focusing on what is your ending cash balance that you project at the end of the year and how much out of reserves you want to cover. To move out of those reserves to balance if there's an expectation that revenues are going to be less than expenses.
So let's say that we don't want to move any more out of reserves than $4 million. I think we know that number.
And right now, we have our major budget items. I am not seeing any tweaking or addition to the numbers. I don't see any reductions to the major numbers I have, but not seeing a report that's specific to the revenues that are revenues versus what the expense difference is. I still don't see a report for that, because there's things, when I asked yesterday, there was some things in here that didn't make sense. And so until we get something that, what was the results of the budget regarding the expenses and what was the revenues.
So if I understand it right, Mandy's got those now, all the way through October. So we just need that report.
But we have to grab all the November data that had a lot of major changes to the end of October number.
So what would next steps be for you to get to a balanced budget, or to get to a budget adoption and a balanced budget?
Well, you'd want the end of November number. And then we look at December. We would look at December, the expenses probably are going to be just as normal, but I don't know what the normal every month expense number is right now. I don't expect any departments spending a whole bunch of money trying to spend their budget.
Well, no, because typically, we get instructions from accounting as to when in December the last batch has to go in. So everybody typically finishes up their spending in November, and they have just bills they're paying in December because they understand what it means, to accounting. They have to get their stuff done. So.
Yeah, but right now we have this extraordinary thing where you're not going to be, commissioners approve any bills for next week. Your bills, there was a week of no bills being paid
because of what?
Because of this Thanksgiving holiday. I was told today that next week there will be no bills that are being paid. So we have a week delay before all the bills that may have been turned in already that don't get paid next week, but the week after.
Well, and it doesn't, everybody's on vacation, so I'd be willing to bet that a lot of people have done their AP batches. They're just not getting, the AP batches are done, so we know what the bills are. If we were to poll, all the departments, all of our departments should know what bills are coming, should be able to forecast that and tell you within a certain amount of certainty what they're going to pay for the month of November or December. We could ask department heads to provide that number.
It would also be nice to have the department heads and the funds of their revenue side.
Well, that's where they're having trouble.
Well, right. And when we know that, are they going to make the revenue budget that they budgeted for this year?
Well, yeah, and that's what's been really difficult is we haven't had revenue numbers since May. And so how was anybody supposed to put a good product up to the commissioners?
And that's why my reports are pretty much been worthless for past history.
And the revenue comes from where?
It comes from my office and then is given to the accounting department to input.
I understand, I'm not trying to beat up on anybody, I'm trying to get
I'm trying to
to
understand.
To
zero.
the exact process of how we can, see, with the November stuff, we'd have to go through a different process to gather data of all the changes that affects. Because we usually just depend on the month end to give us the final resolution. But if I have to do it earlier before we get the month end done, then we have to find a different way to get the data for the revenue side.
We've spent hours, I guess my perception is, and what I want to be different next year, we've spent hours upon hours upon hours, just going in circles around numbers and same numbers, things like that, right? We have.
Not the same numbers.
Not the same numbers.
Not get any further.
But we have a financial stool made of 3 legs, right? Treasurer, auditor, assessor. I'm asking one of those people, what would you do to get to an adopted budget?
And that's the thing, is that's why I suggested that you may be having too many meetings where the time spent might be better to get the data that seems to be what we're all relying on.
Working with you closely, I'll figure out the best way to do that. This is pretty crazy. We're still talking in circles now, because I'm trying to.
And that's the thing is we just downloaded delinquent statements. And so we have a bunch of revenue now gonna start coming in. And for delinquents, and what kind of response we get is unknown. But we're trying to do as much as possible to get close to help our end of year number. And that's why I really want that $2 million to be transferred this year, quickly. It's because it's part of the budget.
We weren't gonna transfer, so now we want to transfer.
Oh, yes, I want it transferred. I want us to follow the budget. The budget said we were gonna do it, so let's do it.
So does that instruction come from the BOCC to make that transfer, or should it just, can it come from you and the auditor?
It's
already in budget, it's just the budget, it's already approved.
It to be, because we have said, let's not move it, and then now, we just need somebody that says yes or no, that they want it done, and that would be the board. 2.
See, that adds $2 million to our cash balance.
So I heard.
So we have a request to the board.
Do something.
But I thought we talked about yesterday, putting it in the 2026 budget, not doing 2025, because then we'd have too much money in 2025.
Our cap for right now with the assessed value we have, our cap is now at 25.6. 25.6 million. We're not gonna have a carryover balance of 25.6. Will be, hopefully it's 24, but it's probably gonna be 23. So we'll see. But these numbers, that's just a guesstimate. Until we have numbers, we can actually put more knowledge in what my gut feeling is versus and see the actual numbers.
When in December would you be there?
We probably can get it done by Friday of next week.
So you adopt the preliminary beginning budget and not the budget?
Yeah.
Or we just keep extending it until we're ready?
I think RCW, we have to extend it every day until we can extend it for 5 days. But then we don't have to adopt it to the end of the month, which causes a great deal of confusion on my part.
Me too, but other commissioners and administrators at WASAC were talking about, if they had to do a budget meeting on the 30th of December or 31st, like they did it. So
yeah,
I'm a little confused.
So could we have our budget meeting on Monday and then just extend it to Friday? So I guess that's a question for Barb, if we have to open it up every single day until Friday till we get the correct numbers that we really need to finalize our budget.
Why don't you?
The RCW says day to day. I would assume day to day, opening it up.
I think we just open it, close it, or extend it, open it.
Okay, we'll put that on our calendar. Yeah.
So do you want to do it?
Barb, I guess, just put it on our calendar next.
Which then you have till Monday. If you're going 5 days, and if we follow that rule of extending daily of 5 days, we have someone here every day to extend it.
You have to do it the first Monday.
Okay, so then we have the next Monday is the final, the decision day. And that's when we should definitely have data. Be done with November.
I guess what I've been trying to drive to for a couple of weeks now is what data are we gonna have that we need where the board and other elected officials feel comfortable with the numbers presented that we can confidently adopt a budget?
The problem with timing is as well, you know, they're working on October. They won't have November. And November is not gonna be available till on a normal year, normal catch up and everything, mid-December.
But we've adopted budgets in the past
Right.
without those
Right.
November numbers.
Yep. Because December usually isn't significant to departments on the revenue side. Unless it's sheriff and jail who have maybe something that's happening. They're the wild card here. They could have some big revenues that might be coming.
The jail?
Yeah, you know, I don't, right now, right now, you had 120,000 they budgeted for and then 2 million for that transfer. And here they had 836,000 just without that transfer. They have 700,000 more. Where did that come from? But they only budgeted 160 for next year.
So Decorah, correct me, I think we squirreled again. There was a question before the board about the $2 million transfer, was there not? Did that get answered?
That it did not. That was being transferred.
Okay, I would like to do that 2 million in 2026, just so we don't hit our cap in 2025, because I'm not 100% confident. I don't want to go over the $25 million. I'd rather do it in 2026.
That 2 million that I'm wanting to be done. Why did you wanted it to show up in the jail budget revenue? That's where that's showing up. But that's an extraordinary thing. And then again, is there any transfers from 117 to the jail budget revenue for next year?
Well, I would say that you transfer out of the 117 to cover whatever salary requirements are in the 2026 budget request for the sheriff and corrections.
Right.
And then that sheds from current expense. So that, again.
And then that's not part of the budget numbers yet.
No, but it could be, because we know we've got the sheriff's budget, right? We've got their salary request. We should know the difference, the delta between what was 2025's approved budget and what the request is in 2026. I mean, we should have that number, so we can just go ahead and budget that out of 117 and make that a zero-sum
Which
thing,
would
right?
then put more money into current expense to reduce our difference.
Yeah. I think that was one of the things we decided we would do yesterday. It was talked about, and it's just kind of a no-brainer, right? So
that's what the goal was, is because we knew, because when you build a jail, if you have more cost, the 117 fund was for that.
So I guess our other question though is, not our, I keep saying ours, not me. So we need to know what that total increase is for the sheriff and their salaries for 2026 and what they asked for. I don't have any clue what it is.
Okay, we need to make sure that the sheriff, when they're getting their reimbursements from Live Nation, sometimes they've done the PUD from other cities and towns that they contract with, that sometimes they've had it in a revolving account instead of going into like the general fund as revenue. So we need to make sure it is actually going into the correct account and not into like a revolving account of theirs, because we've got to account for it in the revenue.
So the sheriff's office has a revolving account that can have that much money in it? Michelle?
Well, I believe before, I don't know recently, but we've had a problem with that in the past. I don't know if it's happened recently.
Aren't allowed for that purpose. Revolving funds are for equipment purchases.
And again, Daryl, I don't know if the sheriff has done it, but in the past it has happened. So I just want to make sure, because we have influx of revenue that came in, and it could be, I think they were working for Warden this year, doing some contract for Warden and Soap Lake, and maybe that was accounted for, maybe it was not budgeted. I don't know where that extra revenue came from. And then I've got to jump off this call in about 5 minutes. So if you have any more questions, which is Rob back, Kevin's gone. So we will not have two commissioners.
Your motion, whatever was needed for the property taxes.
Earlier.
Okay, yeah, earlier. So I just didn't remember hearing final discussion, final approval.
I know Mandy's.
It was approved.
Okay. I just want to make sure that was done. Okay. So what we're missing is we have a $2 million transfer for this year that's going to improve our cash position at the end of the year and make it look like we didn't drop as much.
She's gonna well, they wanna do that in 26, so it wouldn't happen at the end of the year. So we don't have that.
Well, as of today.
As of today.
26.
I don't think
But either way, so what I still haven't gotten to is a number that we're still trying to.
Then we have a extension of money transfer for next year from 117. That hasn't been figured out yet.
So I think we have to have a plan for next week.
Yeah.
What do we want to get to on Monday? What do we want to get to on Tuesday? What do we want to get to on Wednesday? So that on Thursday, we can meet and decide whether or not we're going to adopt something on Friday. But we have to have, concrete, we have to have milestones that we meet. Otherwise, we're going to continue to do this.
Well, Monday is when we start cramming and start gathering data from all the different places.
Is that what they need?
Yeah, I don't think Mandy's going to have all the information because she's just compiling it. It's due Wednesday afternoon. So Mandy will come in Monday, Tuesday, probably compile the new budget. So I wouldn't expect anything until probably Wednesday or Thursday for Mandy, the current numbers.
Commissioners, if I can suggest, you also have to approve the noxious weed assessment and the resolution ordinance for current expense and the road districts, that we follow through with those at least on Monday to get those out of the way, and then adopt the budget and sign that resolution when you're ready.
No, that wasn't in this packet, the county road.
So what were you trying to find in the sheriff's now that I?
So I'm curious, so what their 2025 approved salaries were, right? Usually everybody asks for band and step increases or salary increases, what have you. If we're gonna use the 117 fund to supplement that, what does that change between?
But are you talking sheriff or jail?
Both. They're both.
Jail is a separate.
They're both corrections. 117 can fund both of those. Please, Gina, please.
So for 2025, the sheriff's budgeted $8,091,926.
$8,091,000.
$926. Can I just read the numbers? Because I'm not good at
No, you were very good.
You're good. 8,091,926.
So,
Sorry
Michelle,
to
by
put-
chance, do you
you had a
have what
question?
their 2026 ask is?
I do.
Oh,
Yeah.
what's that?
It's the 8,264,455.
8,264,000.
455.
You speak fast.
Sorry.
That's okay. So
they're
that's nice.
asking for less this year than last year, but they have 3 new positions in their request.
Okay, and we got to remember last year in their 2025 budget, they had a large salary increase in their budget that nobody else had. So
You're using the baseline of 24. Comparing 25 to 24. As the start of the growth. But when you say sheriff, were you saying a combination of jail and sheriff's budget? Or that was the total of both together? Because you may have a distortion. You may have more in jail and less in the sheriff's office, or, it's something.
And Gary did find that
double click on it and it
that
gives you
the
access to
salaries
everything.
went
So
down.
you're talking about a difference though
They are
between
separate.
what's being paid out in 2025 and your request in 2026? is $172,529. So that's the transfer you're talking about out of 117.
That one was just the,
Corrections is
salary.
separate.
It is. Okay.
Now, for 2025, we have $5,636,116.
So is it separate in this year's budget?
It is separate. That is this year's budget for South.
For 26?
Jail salary.
Do the
So
copy
do you have,
of
do you
sheriff
approve
jail
for last year?
2026 budget. Yes. Give me, yes, that's the one we're in.
Oh, 26 doesn't even make sense on time.
So last year. So 2025's budget amount was $6,013,332. I'll
So
just
that-
read you the numbers. 6,013,332.
So that's more than the request this year.
And Gary did find that strange when he put together the budget.
So we have a $377,000 credit now.
Which again, they incorporated the COLA into their budget, so it inflated that number by 6% for each.
So are we looking at budget or are we looking at actuals?
And actually,
Actually, what has been spent?
yeah, and what their request is.
Because they could have budgeted way more than they actually spend this year, and then next year, they could be budgeting something that's more accurate.
So I guess what, and maybe I'm wrong, and everybody in this room can tell me that. We don't have to worry about a transfer out of 117 for corrections because they're lower next year than they were this year.
Which doesn't make sense.
Now, for the sheriff's side, we're talking about a transfer of only 172,000 and change. So that's what would come out of 117. So we're not reducing the burden on current expense.
Because they had all these deputies, well, I know, but to me, you should be using 24 as the baseline. And not comparing 25 to 26, but using 24, what was the increase? Because they did a lot of hiring, which showed up this year.
A little over $1 million in increases. That's why we use 117 to pay the $1 million.
Yeah.
And we plan to do it annually,
Right.
including 26.
So, yeah, so it's $1 million plus whatever this offset is, yeah. I wasn't.
Because 24 should, I think you have a baseline that's back a year. And then looking at the increases, and then plus you had the new employees with new cars. So as the new cars, they're outside the salary number, but they're also realized expense because of that. The other physical items and the equipment and the uniform that are not
That total
cheap.
officer cost.
Right, total cost. That's the cost you should be looking at as how much more.
2024, the jail's salary is $5,233,854.
Isn't it 6?
Plus
$6,013,332.
So we have,
For 24?
No, sorry, no, for 24, sorry.
so that's around 800,000.
So even, and Rob's right, we're in 26, we were supposed to use $1 million of that, right? So now we're $1,172,000. So we are still, we are, if we make that transfer, we are reducing the burden on current expense by $1,172,000.
Looking at the other factors of the other things that the cost of having an officer. If they're a new person.
No idea how fast we can get those numbers.
I know, but I that's why you threw out 2 million. Wasn't the 2 million not just for the future, but a future of 25, but also trying to recover things of the past and maybe trying to recover the things of even 24.
Oh, it's half and half.
Again, I feel like we're going in circles.
2 and Tyler.
Well, we're still trying to figure out.
But we're,
what the impact is on current
Right, but
expenses.
you're also looking for a justification of why did we make these decisions in the prior year?
So we're gonna fix it.
What were we thinking? And why did we pick 2 million?
I don't know.
I wasn't here for that.
Cause then if we,
But why do
then
we
we have
pick 2 million
to
to
change our
transfer for
conversion
this year?
data.
Because they didn't do 24 or 25's transfer.
Right.
They need to make the transfer now
We'll have to here.
for 25.
That's that $2 million.
Yes.
If it wasn't for 25, it was also
So
for
what's this
24.
cap that we can get in trouble for?
The cap is you have a cap based on assessed value, where it has a certain rate in the RCW. I did the calculation, yes, right now the cap was at $25.6 million. Last year was around 24 million, and we were over the 24 million carryover. So that's why we had to figure out using the money.
So if we transfer $2 million out of 117 into current expense, then that could put us at the.
No, we're gonna have expenses. That's why I'm sure.
Well, but it's Daryl, but it's going to be awfully close. So I don't even want to mess with it in 2025, and let's just do it in 2026.
What's the penalty if you do go over the cap? I don't know.
Nope. We weren't penalized in the past.
But is there supposed to be a penalty?
There is nothing stated in RCW, and the auditor didn't even know their RCW existed.
If we're so worried about going over the reserve cap, then we don't have any issues.
Well, I don't think you should have an expectation that we're going to end the year at $25.6 million.
No, I agree with you, but Cindy is talking about going over not wanting to go over the cap. But we keep talking about having a shortfall. None of that makes sense to me, so.
That's where we have impressions. I think it's probably going to be around 24 million. I have to verify, I have to get the expense number. We have to do the November, and then I have to project the major things that happen in December. December doesn't have, I project these sales tax, and project all those other current expense revenues that'll happen at the end of December. I got the REC, I got the transfers, all happening. I project that number, use that number against their average expense number, what they believe is going to be a guess on how much the expense is size, and we take that and we use that net effect on the end of November's cash balance.
So Cindy, I know you have to jump off in just any minute now. What is your concern with the cap and going over?
Okay, Daryl's been worried about it. Daryl's the one that says we've got this cap, we're not supposed to go over it. So if Daryl says there's no big deal, then I guess we could do it in 2025. But the hype that Daryl's bringing into this picture, I don't even want to get close to it. If we're within $1 million, why risk it? And let's just do it in 2026. So if Daryl says there's no issue, on one hand, I feel like he's talking about there's an issue. And on the next side, he said, I don't know what the problem is. So I guess if Daryl's fine with it, I don't really care. But I just need the support of Daryl, whatever we do, if we go over that 25 million for a month.
Because our assessed valuation increased a lot in 1 year, and we're not even talking about for next year, we're using the valuation of this year to do the calculation. Because of that, our cap increased much more. Even when we did the budget, we never had an expectation of having a carryover reserve balance of $25.6 million. We had an expectation of possibly 22. Now we're gonna see if it's really 22 or if it's gonna be a little higher than that. Right now, it could be higher than that, but one number that I don't know for sure is the expense side.
So, but she's got the expense numbers all the way through October, so she can email those to you and you can look at it.
And then if our expenses are gonna be still the same average for November, but we'll be working on using all those expense numbers working on our month end next week.
So Cindy, let me ask you this question. So if Daryl's confident we're not gonna go over that cap, are you willing to change your mind on the transfer this year? You're breaking up.
Can you message Tom your opinion?
Yep.
Because we haven't been talking about
Well,
having more money.
we need to.
Even with the
We
2
need to
million.
be comfortable with the budget. We need to
Right.
be comfortable with the adoption of a budget and have confidence
In a projected carryover balance, so we know how, and then with that when we have a good guesstimate on the projected carryover balance, then you can decide what your goal is of the end of 26, of what that carryover balance you want to be, which probably is around $3 million less, at least, than this year. Because if we end with 24, then you may look at a target of 21 million for end of 26. And then you're looking at 18 million. But you hope you don't have to.
So you know what we can do, so Cindy's, in and out, and she has to jump off. This is something you could always vote to do on Monday morning or Tuesday.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I wanted to see the transfer yesterday. Kevin wanted to see the transfer.
Yeah.
I mean, if he changes his mind Monday, then that, but I think the transfer needs to happen.
Yeah, it's not working, Cindy. Almost wish you just directly call someone instead of do it over.
Okay with it. Okay, I'm okay with the transfer if Daryl is okay with the transfer in 2025. Did that come through?
Yes. I heard 2.
Okay. And is that all you need?
Yeah, I think that's all we need.
Okay, I'm sorry, I had to leave the doctor's office to come outside here. Okay.
All right, so am I done?
Yep.
Okay.
Until Monday or tomorrow.
Yeah, are we meeting tomorrow?
I still think we need, I still think we need milestones for next week. We have to have points we want to get to so that we can.
Well, I have the October reports and I can update this. And which gives me some indication of where we're at with the comparison of the 25 end of October versus the 24 end of October. So I'm seeing how I'm doing. I want to see how I'm doing on the revenue projections I have for this year. Right now, I had to do a lot of work to try to project what I think is going to happen, and I want to see if these numbers reaffirm what I projected.
How can you help them there, Mandy?
Well, she said that it just needs to take
Yeah,
about 6 hours.
Yeah, the reports are running, but Gerald, my report is just a copy paste of your report. I don't record revenues.
No, but I don't get details versus revenue codes. I need to see the revenue codes. That's why I always been harping that I don't like this merging numbers together and making the number not have much value, because I have specific large revenue numbers that are specific that I'm projecting to have their own trends.
They're in revenue codes in your system because that's how Connie gives it to us.
I'm saying I want your report.
It's running.
Mandy, when that report is done, will you send
Thank
it
you,
to
Daryl.
everybody, all of us?
Yeah, we have to do a little bit of cleanup on it, but yeah.
I'm gonna post it on.
Well, we'll send it to,
We'll send it to
yeah.
somebody to get it posted.
Mhm.
You can send it to me, I'll get it posted, or I'll make sure that GCTS gets it posted straight away.
So Michelle, while I have you here, can I ask a question about the Historic Preservation Fund? I just wanted to clarify, because I thought I understood, and then right at the end yesterday, you made a comment about if you have to keep it forever. So if you're using.
It has to be, well, mine,
Okay,
I haven't really dived into the other one that much. I look at the auditor O&M one,
okay.
and it has to be historic. It has to be forever.
Okay.
It has to be something that you have to save.
Save forever. So
Yeah.
what is the other fund? Is that?
The historical preservation.
Yeah, is that one with the board?
I haven't looked up any of RCW is for it, but I think it's
It's the same
similar.
it's the same
Is it
RCW. It just
RCW?
sets aside $1 from every,
With the
yeah.
lawsuit form, do you just want to put that
So
on
I'm gonna go, it's
top
probably the
and
same
one
thing.
other
It has to be, it's a
Yeah,
historical
that's if Cindy's signing off.
preservation of documents.
Cindy, are you
Historical.
signing off?
It means something forever.
Okay, so for risk management, some of his
I
document.
will shortly here. Sorry, I can hear it. I just can't talk. So when I have to talk, I have to go outside.
I think that would qualify.
As forever. Okay. That's good to know.
That's kind of like how I look at it. If it's something that you have one little component that has to be
As long as it's
taught forever,
okay.
then
That is helpful. Thank you so much. I just wanted that clarification.
and I don't know that anybody has even looked at any of those. You tell me then.
You have any last things, Tom?
I've got nothing.
Cindy, do you have anything you wanna
They
say
didn't
before
hit
we?
it.
Just got, let's recess.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like
and,
co-mingled in
unless
current
we- we
expense,
did
like
not
where
send
you
you
wouldn't
out
be able to
an
track it anyway.
I know.
We can
That's why we pulled it
recess and
out.
keep
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah.
We'll go and recess at 2:52 and potentially return tomorrow.
Potentially. Do we want to return tomorrow?
Well, we need to know because we're set from 10 to 2. I want to come down and show the house.
I don't know that we're gonna get anywhere. I mean, I can go and talk to Daryl about.
Are you here tomorrow?
I'd love not to be, but I
Yeah.
will be if the budget requires it. I mean, I'm here for it, so, whatever.
Maybe let's just chat after this, get a plan of expectation, get that part done, not do tomorrow,
Okay,
and then go from there.
sounds good.
All right.
I'm not coming down here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That way, if there's work that needs to be done or reports that are running, that stuff can just get done. We don't waste people's time.
Yeah, Cindy's got a let's not meet tomorrow, so I think we're good.
All right, we're gonna recess at 2:53.